हाँ जी मैंने यहाँ पर रखा यहीं पे रखा
lying in heart attack office for several months.
Okay. So 7 are making presentation. What I saw in the agenda.
So
Lego.
आपका लास्ट में एक्चुअली आपने ये मैंने लिखा हुआ है ये आप लास्ट में इन्फॉर्मेशन हुआ था ना
Speak about it. But still the seven MFI things. 2022, RBA revised their regulation.
सर ये सुबह मैसेज किया सर ने बोले कन्फर्म किया
Welcome, sir. Morning. How are you? Good, sir. How are you? I was Satish Kumar, 16.
Thanks for any problem.
Money. Hello. That is what. So he will call you.
So I just discussed with them.
Devaprasad is also coming.
Yeah, yeah, it's coming.
It's coming, it will be delayed. Like,
I know. There are no senior officers meeting there.
Oh, it's all like this.
We'll try and attend. Maybe take care of this part and then come.
At least in between you can come and yeah, which is what? So it come in around 11:30 types. So we will pause our how you good.
Yeah, I'm good. That's how
I'm Bhinder, we are Housing Finance, India Shelter. Thank you.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, sir. Okay. Shuttle is based in and what about yours? Someone? So your registration is still it has been
So
moved to RBI.
COR is from
Sandeep, can I get it?
Hello, good morning all. So welcome to this alliance building exercise. This is the third interface along with Habitat for Humanity, TCIS. Sa-Dhan has always been in this segment of affordable housing, but this is a new initiative that we have started. And this is the culmination of 12 virtual interfaces that we have done along with NHB and MFIs and HFCs. So I'll now invite GG sir, ED and CEO of Sa-Dhan to make the welcomes. Thank you, sir. Sir, so before that I invite Sir Sanjay Shukla to the dais. GG sir also to the dais. And yes. Yeah. So you can now come to the make this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta, and good morning to all. Welcome to today's this interface alliance building interface session. First of all, let me welcome our respected Sanjay Shuklaji from NHB, is chairman of MD of NHB. So welcome to this today's interface session, and really thank you for being here. And let me tell you, it's he is one person behind the whole this exercise. You have been knowing, I mean, as you know that Sa-Dhan as an association of microfinance institution have been taking efforts to build various kind of alliances which will help the microfinance institutions, member institutions to build up their, expand their business. And especially with regards to mobilizing funding support. So we had been looking at various options. Recently, about 2 years back, you know that we have a collaboration with NSFDC, National Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Finance Development Corporation, where we started a small pilot where they extended support, funding support to a few, I think 5 or 6 MFIs, and through which we did a small pilot. And other day, both Dr. Saibal and Sangeeta had a meeting with the new chairman of NSFDC, and he was so happy, and he has said that he will be expanding it this year with a larger amount. So that was one such initiative happened recently. Similar to that, housing, because we know that housing is an important thing, especially the segment which the microfinance caters to. Housing becomes very, very critical. And as the data says that by 2036, you need around 93 million new houses for the country. Already, that's something like 29 million shortage is there. So housing becomes very important because that is a basic need of a person, roti, kapda, makan. So that becomes very important, and especially the segment which we are catering to, for them, it becomes really difficult to have a house of their own, to have a proper housing of their own, a housing with all amenities of their own. Thankfully, government has been working on this, and the government have been supporting this through the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, both urban and rural. A lot of support has been extended. I think together around 4-5 crores of houses have been built. But still, there is a huge gap in the housing needs are there. And this housing which funded by the government program, PMAY, also will require some additional funding requirement, because the money which probably provided by the government is not complete. I mean, it cannot be, we cannot expect that entire money will be spent by the government. So there has to be some money has brought from the beneficiaries side also. So either they should bring from their own savings, or they should look for some kind of a borrowings. And this is an area which also really goes well with our mandate of supporting the poor people with funding support, funding needs. So probably there also we can play a role. What I'm trying to say is that the vulnerable section to whom we cater to, that is a microfinance cater to, there is a huge need of housing, and for which even if they get government support, their funding requirements are there, because their money is not being met out of the subsidies of the government under PMAY. So there is a huge demand, there is a huge need. In this connection, we had a meeting with Sri Sanjay Shuklaji, is MD National Housing Bank, and he was I would say, very in the sense, he was very sensitive to the need, and was very positive to the need. And he said that let's do something, and we were originally looking for some kind of a corpus allocation, which probably it is not possible. Then he himself suggested, why not we tie up with some of the HFCs, because HFCs are already in the field of housing finance. So maybe the MFIs can add on to that, because MFI has a better reach, better connect with the people, and especially the poor people whom we are looking at, with whom the MFIs have a better connect. So utilize the strength of both. HFCs already have some financial strength, and they have a technical strength because they have been in the field of housing for a long time. So that strength is already there. And MFIs have a strength of connecting with the people, reaching the people. So use this to bring together a synergy so that you can have better success. So he early suggested that let's do this, and said that let's start with maybe a few pilots, maybe some 5-6 HSCs, and some MFIs can be brought together do a pilot kind of a thing, then go forward by seeing its success. And for information, Shiklaji, he himself shortlisted a few HFCs, talked to them, brought them on a online meeting with MFIs initially. So, and we also shortlisted a few MFIs who could be brought into this. So we had an online discussion like that a few months back, and thereafter, I'm sure something must have happened between the institutions whom we brought and the HSCs which we have identified. Today we will be able to get much more information about that, much more insights to that, and also we can understand what kind of additional steps have to be taken, what kind of support they will be requiring to make this alliance a workable one. Suppose it becomes workable, I'm sure it has got a scale up, it can be scaled up and it can be made across the country. And let me also tell you, this initiative comes at a time when I would say it's in a right time, because now recently RBI has also increased that non-qualifying asset component of MFIs. So now 40% up to 40% of the exposure can be in the non-qualifying asset. And housing could be one of the areas. Maybe you can't entirely jump into the housing finance, probably because MFIs may not have that kind of an experience or expertise. So to tie up with a housing financing company and start your initiatives maybe on a co-lending mode also, and get yourself trained and experienced. Thereafter, probably you can also even start doing your own lending. I'm saying it could be a win-win situation for all, and I'm sure this initiative is going to go a long way. So let me once again welcome all of you for today's discussion, and I hope that today's discussion will come out with some kind of a fruitful results and fruitful conclusions, so that we can move forward. I also once again welcome Shuklaji and thank him for all his initiative, all his support for this program, and thank you all, and welcome for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that initial welcome speech of yours. Now I invite Sanjay Shukla sir to elaborate on the vision that he has for this alliance. Thank you.
Good morning. Namaskar. So first let me at the outset thank the organizer, because when I took over NHP about 10 months back, so they would come to me, Sa-Dhan had come to me for a fund allocation. Then we debated and discussed, because fund allocation was not possible, because as we are mandated to only lend to housing finance companies, even NBFC doesn't fall in that purview. But since I also come from a tier 3 town, so I knew how difficult it was for me, for a person who spent 34 years in the industry, to set up a branch of a company which I was heading. I had to convince why we should open a branch in Ayodhya. Ayodhya is now known for, but I'm talking some 10 years back, 15 years back. And finally, and that was a PSU, Central Bank Home Finance, where the promoter, the central bank and the other promoters said, no, we should not go to smaller places. But anyway, that's a different story. But what I am saying, it was because Ayodhya was a separate city, and it came up for various reasons and became so important. But there are more than 1,000 Ayodhyas there in the country where we haven't gone. So the idea of connecting MFIs and HFCs was with the intent that HFCs don't have reached to this last mile delivery where the distribution is very expensive, but MFIs have so many customers, and MFI also have a history of those customers. So with this idea, I spoke to a couple of my colleagues in HFC. So they came forward and they also liked the idea. Then I had requested Sa-Dhan that you can arrange a meeting, and I think some fruitful discussions have taken place. And the idea is that MFIs don't have that backup of the resources and the low-cost fund accessibility. And there's no point in lending a loan which is backed by a property or defective title property, I would say, because in rural areas, in some areas, you will not. In fact, that's one of the issues which I am going to raise, and we'll have to find a solution for that. So you cannot lend a loan at 32% or 4% or 20%, 24%. For that, we need to find a solution. So I think there is a way out, and we will discuss and debate. In fact, some of you have already come up with few suggestions. The other thing is, in the recent conference of the Rural Development Ministry in Goa, again, going to the villages and going to taluka, and the HFCs, when we spoke, they said the cost of fund is an issue. So we have set up a rural housing fund with 500 crore, and that will be announced on our annual day, which is on the 9th of July. So there, that fund will be 500 crore, and we would like to channelize that fund for this kind of lending at the HFCs who will come forward for such initiative. Similarly, there are large NBFCs also, because nothing prohibits MFI to tie up with the NBFC also to give this kind of lending. Somebody who is not even today registered with us as HFC with RBI and is not under our domain of supervision. But you can connect with them also. There are few large NBFCs there also, because for them it is a lab. And they are not, even if they don't take refinance from us, this will easily give them 5 to 6 basis point spread. Plus it is a asset-backed security. MFIs have the credit history of most of these customers. And where the repeat loan, because MFIs are in the process of giving repeat loan either to self-help group. And so my suggestion would be, let's pilot the first 100, 200 loan on a set of customer where they have been a good borrower for 3 to 4 times. Give them lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees as a property loan. Whether they take property loan or construct the house is one and the same thing. But normally, given the basic, not a perfect title, 100% perfect title, probably we would be more keen to give them property loan, one-shot disbursement, or you can have a monitored disbursement also. So there, in those first set of 100, 200, 500, whatever number you take, because we should not go overboard in this segment. But yes, because nothing comes on day one. We have to work on that pilot for 1 year. And in the next 1 year, 365 days, we'll get to know the characteristics and the issues in the pool or how the lending is taking shape. So post that, so I'm sure that Sa-Dhan has a great experience in that sector, and the MFIs which are associated with them, or they also have a good experience. So we should, in fact, I met NAPFIN other day. So they had some set of customer, because their concern was, how do I identify the customer? I said, you must be having a customer who was your customer 2 years, 3 years back, who would have reached to the next level of upgraded his credit history and moved to next level. Why don't we go and target that set of customer? If you have such 1,000 customer, I can tell you the portfolio delinquency will be less than 1% in that 1,000 customer segment. So we'll have to come up with some ideas that where we do not expose ourselves to non-tested customer. All MFI have all tested customer, but it's a group of, through self-help group, loan is given once, twice, 3 times. And in fact, you can also, sir, think of the similar, self-help group type of arrangement between 5 to 6 set of borrowers. Because in fact, this, I remember in 1991 when I started my career, LIC Housing Finance came up with a plan to lend to Mathadi worker. So Mathadi worker was a cooperative society. So we all said, how come, and we all were too young that time, we just started our career. Then what we realized in Mathadi worker, that group of 500 people who've taken loan, if everyone was not working, was sick, the other person used to make payment on his behalf. So this self-help group concept is not that what originated it, but I have seen it in 1991, the self-help group. That was quasi-self-help group. So with this, I don't want to take much time, but I'm very happy, and personally I'll be monitoring this, and I can assure all the support what you want. So I'm not giving all those numbers, we have to build so many houses, this much money is going to flow in the sector, because that has been repeated so many times. So I thought, let me take this opportunity to talk to you on the practical aspect, because having spent a decent time in the industry, and especially I have been always after tier 3, tier 4 cities in my days. Because in tier 1 city, if you start a loan and give to the HNIs, so they will move their loan for 50 basis point differential. But if you go to tier 3, tier 4 cities, for them getting finance was difficult. So they never bothered about 100, 200 basis points difference, and that was my way of setting up organization when I had set 3, 4 organizations in the past. In fact, in Tata, I did not open a Bombay branch, and then in 1 year, 12 months, then somebody asked in the Bombay house, this employee, Ratan Tata's EA wants the loan. And I said, we don't lend in Bombay. He said, how come Bombay being a Tata company? I said, no, I had Surat, Anand, Nadiad, and Vapi, Valsad, but not Bombay. हमने कहा सर बॉम्बे if you give them loan and 50 basis point difference is there, they will not come to us. And that point of time, we were operating about 75 to 100 basis point. So my thought, the reason why I shared this is smaller cities, the customer is not, but at the same time, we should also not exploit them. See, when NHB is going to provide fund to HFCs at a rate of 7.7, 7.8, that would be the rate. So why can't we have that markup of 400 basis point, 500 basis point? You are going to rural area, have a 600 basis point, 700 basis point. But don't go beyond 14, 14 and a half. Because the moment you go beyond 14, 14 and a half, it becomes unviable. Because then there is no difference in a personal loan and this loan. The only advantage for the customer is that in your MFI loan or a personal loan, the EMI burden is very high and the tenor is smaller. So the amount of pressure he has on the repayment is huge. So we can think of some, not a 15-year loan, you should also keep the tenor for 6 to 7 years. But the other issue which someone shared with me, that now how do we calculate the eligibility? Because I think your loan in MFI to the self-help group, suppose if he's an existing customer and he wants to take a loan, because there you have 36-month or 24-month kind of. So we'll have to find a solution for that, and I'm sure we will have to look at it as a purely, though as a commercial transaction, but at the same time, we also have to understand that this will not only enlarge your base, because you will be moving to a new set of customer, and especially in a smaller place, the word of mouth publicity is so huge that you don't need to spend a single rupee on marketing. So with this, I want to close my session. I don't want to take much time because I also want to see what you have discussed, because I'll be able to, because I have to leave in next 1.5 hours. So I would also like to give my input as a practitioner, not as an NHBMD, because I was on the other side of the table for 34 years. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those encouraging words. Now I invite Gigi sir to facilitate Sukla sir with a memento. Thank you, sirs, for this session. We will be starting our presentation session, so I'll request you to kindly take the slides.
Otherwise.
Thank you so much, sir. So now No, sir, you can sit there. Thank you. So we will be starting our presentation session. So to introduce that presentation session and the objective of that session, I now invite Dr. Sewell Paul to say a few words about that.
This session, as sir was telling, that we have discussed enough about the challenges, troubles, everything. Now we need to, this meeting is basically to fix those issues and take it to next level. Like, once again, if we start discussing about the challenges, troubles, we need the deeper insight that how can we take it forward. We know both of the sides, we do have our a very, very big time contribution to the societies. So in one, there's your HFCs. They have this affordable, in the affordable segment, they have done substantially. In the microfinance sector, all of us, we know the kind of impact we do have on our ground. So this session, please be clear in your presentation and please get us some way forward. We want to get out of this room after our event having some concrete decision on the partnership. Thank you very much. That's what I wanted to tell. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now I invite Nupur to say a few words about the TCIS initiative.
Yeah, I'll not take much time, but just to say that this is not just one event happening here, but there have been preparations from, say, 2 years back. So we started with the Sa-Dhan conference in 2023. 2024 was a Chennai conclave, Delhi conclave, and there were so many discussions on housing, right? Policy level discussions. So this co-lending is one of that initiative. And along with that, we are also working on a landscape report, on a policy recommendation report along with Sa-Dhan. So we believe that all the discussions happening here and the points which we discuss results into some action, some pilots, and from there we learn more and then we build more into the sector. So that's the idea. Thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you, Gigi, sir, for giving us the opportunity to partner and take this forward. Thank you.
So now we'll start the presentation. We'll start with PNB Housing. PNB Housing team, please.
Good morning. I think I must say this is a wonderful initiative. Thank you, Shukla ji. I think always you've been instrumental in trying to see how we can try to improve and extend housing to as many people as possible, mostly the needy in our country, because that's where there's a huge demand and huge gap. Mr. Gigi, I think thanks for the initiative. I must say we are very happy to collaborate, to try and get to deeper India, where we can focus on EWS. I think largely, even if you look at today, in the affordable segment, if I talk about the industry, there is some bit of overlap between MFI customers and housing finance customers. Maybe we need to go a notch, beyond, notch lower, and try to see how we can collaborate. Given the constraints what we have, I'm sure in next 1.5 hours time, we are going to start a discussion as to how we can try and fix those problems so that we'll be able to lend and contribute to the nation building. I'll quickly spend 2 slides on the company, more on affordable, because that's where we would be spearheading our initiative in terms of collaboration with MFIs. So PNB Housing, as you're aware, it's the 3rd largest by book size. We are promoted by PNB, Punjab National Bank. They are our promoters. They hold 28%. We have a large network, 356 branches. Important to note is that out of 350, 200 branches are in affordable, and we have big plans to extend our branch network in the affordable space, getting into tier 3 and tier 4, maybe beyond that in the days and months to come. Some of the numbers I think you can see that I'm not going to repeat. So we have, our book is about 76,000 crores, AUM is 80,000 crores. Our affordable book is about 5,070 crores. We started affordable business very recently, about 2.5 years back. And we have lent to more than 36,000 customers so far. Some of the key numbers are there in terms of our CAR is 29%, ROA is about 2.5, and the book value is 649. We are AA plus rated by all the 4 rating agencies. Some key numbers, comparison of FY25 over 24. Our disbursements grew by 25%, loan assets by about, overall loan asset by 16%, retail by over 18%. Affordable, I think this is a very important story for PNB Housing, because as a housing finance company, we have changed a strategy in last 2.5-3 years. We were focusing on super prime and prime, so now we have stopped super prime because that's not our forte. We are slowing down our growth in prime and trending more towards affordable and emerging. So this cuts across EWS, LIG and MIG. For today's context, it's more about affordable. So you can see the numbers. Our GNPA is now about almost around 1%. We are today present in 3 segments out of the 4 segments. Broadly, this is our definition. So super prime, as I mentioned, we have stopped. Prime, no, we are not very keen to grow this book. So the pace of growth is consciously very low. Emerging is a new business we started last year. The book is over 14,000 crores. And affordable, which we started 2.5 years back, today the book is about 5,070 crores. The plan is to get to close to 9,500 by this year end and 15,000 crores by next year end, that is March 27. And you can see the disbursement and the growth. I think it is predominantly skewed towards affordable and emerging. And even in terms of branch network or focus, number of people focusing on these segments, I think largely it is towards affordable and emerging. I think that's where housing finance companies should focus on. So that's why we changed the strategy in last 2.5, 3 years time, and that has really worked well for us. So this is on the borrowing profile. Thanks to NHB, we have a share of about, this is as of March, of course, no, not now. So now it has further increased. NHB share is about almost 14%. I think NHB has been instrumental in supporting housing finance companies to ensure that we try to cover housing for as many people as possible. When we talk about funding from NHB, it comes at a very low rate. It's going to help housing finance companies on the cost of borrowing. That would help us in turn to try and manage the risk and still be slightly profitable on this segment. Term loans is about 38%. And then we are a deposit taking company, so we have about 28%. So this we are consciously trying to reduce. We were at 32, 33%. Now we are reducing. We will take this to about 25% because we feel that going forward, when we have so much of access for funds, especially from NHB and various initiatives, we thought that we should probably try and focus on lending more towards, housing rather than focusing on other things. So this is about a Roshni success story. We started in Jan 2023. The first month we disbursed 5 crores. In no time we reached 100 crores per month. In November 23 we reached a book of 1,000 crores. And by May 24, 2,000 crores. And by March 25, which is roughly about 2 years and 3 months, we were able to reach 5,000 crores. So the book is 5,070 crores as of March. Roshni is affordable. So our brand name for affordable is Roshni. In fact, we were the first one to come out with a mascot, for Roshni. That is a brand name in the housing finance space, because that's where our future is, and that is what we want to do going forward. We were able to build the book fast for the simple reason we were quite late getting into the segment. See, we opened with a large set of branches. We started off with 100 branches. So typically what happens, in somebody who's into this business, they will try to test in 2 or 3 markets and then expand, and then it takes about few years. We had very less time because we were one of the last entrants. So we had mortgage experience, we had bit of prime experience and emerging. So we thought we need to start with a large base so that we can try and catch up. And that is the reason why we can see that today we have 200, and by FY27 we will have totally 500 branches. In Roshni we will have about 300 branches. Typically, Roshni customers would look like this. So we focus on both salaried and self-employed, both formal and informal. So our idea is to get into 50 and 50, 50% salaried, 50% self-employed, and within self-employed, both formal and informal. So this is a business where it's a high touch point business. So we need to know our customers well, and therefore there is customer interface. Therefore the cost is very high because we need to meet the customer, understand his or her business, draw out broadly the financials, and then work out the eligibility. It's called assessment model. I think that is where because these set of people, for them, availability of credit is a much larger issue. So they don't have formal access to funds. And that is why, that is where we want to focus more and try to build from there. So in salaried, these are basically government class 4 employees and private employees, where their income is about between 10,000 to 15,000, 16,000. I think that is the kind of profile what we target. And you can see the graph. It's a new business. The base is very small, and therefore the disbursement looks really, tending towards the top. But yes, our focus is to try and build this book much faster. So this is just to give you some idea. So we are now present in about 14 states, and we are expanding quite fast. For us, the top 5 states are Tamil Nadu, UP, Maharashtra, MP, and I think one good thing about this segment is that a lot of people think, if you fund to this segment, the delinquencies will be very high. Actually, it is not very high. In comparison, given the profile, given the risk, and the opportunity of cost of borrowing, I think decent margins are there. So in fact, this is the flavor of the industry today. A lot of companies are getting into affordable and emerging, because that is what makes sense for them, because on the super prime and prime, there's a lot of competition from banks, and that is not a forte. We can't compete with banks. We need to have a niche, and I think this is the niche. Even Government of India, NHB, the entire focus is directed towards this segment, which is EWS, LIG, and part of MIG. These are some numbers about loan asset by product. So as of now, the housing loan is about almost 70%, non-housing is 30%. We want to keep it this way. We want to focus more on housing and less on non-housing. By profile, today it is 60% salaried and 40% self-employed. We want to take this to 50-50, and again within salaried 50 formal, 50 informal, within self-employed 50 formal, 50 informal, because the point here to notice, the informal segment both in salaried and self-employed, it's difficult to get loan, and that is precisely the reason why we want to focus on those segments. The ticket size is about 14 lakhs for us, and our focus is also try and increase new to credit. So first time customers, we try to encourage them to try and take loan. So we have within affordable, within Roshni, we have 4 different categories. So for affordable, there's opportunity everywhere. We can't say that big cities don't have an opportunity because it is urban poor. So we have opportunity across. So affordable, we focus pan country. Whether it is, let's say, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, NCR. I think everywhere there is opportunity in the outskirts. Where poor people live there. With lower income, we try to support them. That is Brahmaputra. And then Ganga is maybe the next few cities. Yamuna and Kaveri, these are small branches, basically in tier 3 and tier 4. We want to focus more on Kaveri and Yamuna, because that is where our focus is to try and get to tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. Here, so that's our focus. So we have 4 different categories, and as and when the branch, the city progresses, India progresses, branch also would progress, then we would try to migrate from Kaveri to Yamuna, Yamuna to Ganga, and Ganga to Brahmaputra. So if you can see, we have only 4 Brahmaputra and 63 Ganga, and the rest 94 in Kaveri. I think that's where our focus is. This is about the company and our initiative, on the affordable space. Very happy to collaborate. Excited about this initiative. Once again, I thank Shukla ji for this. Always he comes out with innovative thoughts, and this is one area where it is easily marryable. Because we see that there are a lot of overlap between MFI and affordable. I'm not very sure. I think somewhere I read that the overlap is about 17 to 18%. If we take all the housing finance companies, close to 100 housing finance companies, barring the top 7 or 8, most of the companies do focus on affordable, and therefore the overlap is quite high. We have to go to next level and try to see how we can try and collaborate well to try and help this segment of customers. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for that presentation. Next will be Sundaram Finance. After this, the presentation. Yeah. After the presentation, right? Yeah. So sir will be there for 1.5 hours, so we'll be quick with our presentation so that no sir can give. Yeah. Okay.
You can also focus on your current challenges.
Yeah.
Current challenges in the conversations.
Yeah.
The discussions.
Yeah, please, Sundaram.
I'm Kumaresh. I'm heading strategy initiatives for Sundaram Home Finance, operating from corporate office. He's my colleague Ravi. He's the head of Western region. Okay. So, first of all, thanks Sa-Dhan for giving us this opportunity, and we welcome Shukla ji. I still remember on February 10th, I think, when we had the first call. Within 10 minutes, I think Shukla ji was suggesting, Sundaram, since you are in South, why can't you tie up with napkins directly? So our initiative was like started and like initiated within 10 minutes of the call. Further to that, we had three discussions till now in the last 3-4 months with napkins. We visited them in their Bangalore office, and they visited us also in our Chennai office. And last month we had a complete affordable housing product training session with them. So this is where we both are standing right now, right? So this is again one more opportunity to have a lot of interactions with our counterparts. So yeah. So this is what Sundaram is like. We are in the 26th year of our operation, strongly backed by Sundaram Finance, our parent organization. We, like the previous presentation, we also operate in both prime and affordable housing segment. So affordable housing segment is like a new initiative we started a couple of years back. Like we have the small ticket lab as well as the affordable housing under the banner emerging business. So that's 2-year-old program, and this is the normal prime products what we have like anybody else in this market. So home loan, plot loan, takeover, and home extension improvement. And this is what our emerging business product. So we call the affordable housing as Anugraha and the small ticket lab as Niti. And we are operating at, like, if you ask me, affordable housing, we are operating around the 12 to 16% range, and the small ticket lab at 16 to 20%, 22% range. I'll come to the numbers shortly. So this is what, like, we have 166 branches now, like in 13 states, and 56 exclusive branches for this affordable housing and small ticket lab, mainly in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, and Telangana. So our AUM is around 15,489 crores, and we are around 1838 people across the company. Out of this 1838, we have exclusive 400 people only catering the emerging business market. Sorry?
It's from outside.
Yeah, okay. So this is our strength of being backed by Sundaram Finance, and we are in the 26th year of operation. So we are currently expanding a lot in rest of India. So currently our presence is in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and also we have recently opened in Chhattisgarh also. So
West Bengal as well.
West Bengal is always, Calcutta is always the right from day one. So that's, apart from South, we have expanded. Now we have around 26, 27 offices in rest of India. So coming to this affordable thing, like our penetration is also now increasing in the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 locations. So if you ask me, only the affordable housing and the emerging business, we are at a loan book of around 250 crores with a 56 branch operation. Okay, and the home loan affordable housing is like on an average ticket size of around 14 lakhs, and the small ticket lab is around 8 lakhs. So this is the market which we are operating, right? So as I say, for affordable housing, we have an exclusive setup from credit, legal and technical also. So there is a zonal, technical, branch technical, cluster technical, legal, credit. So everything is now like a bifurcated segment from prime. So like, because Mr. Girish said the mindset has to change, right? It's not only the customer's mindset, our own people's mindset also has to change when they upprice. Since it's more of an assessment model, so a lot of groundwork is required. Like, so, if you ask me, currently we are at affordable housing, we are at 1.12. Overall is 1.99, including this one, but only affordable housing, it's 1.12. No, nothing. I mean, as such, we have done 3 rounds of discussion with NAPFINS, so we want to take it to the next level. Hopefully, we'll find out.
Any challenges, anything you are finding in that? In your interaction with
See, I mean, it's not from NAPFIN's perspective or from Sundaram Home perspective, maybe everybody's perspective. Like I think probably we should have one product for this segment, for a home loan product, because there will be certain challenges in LTVs or the FOIs and all. So this kind of segment where the average ticket size will be 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs segment, is this what we are looking at, right? Further below, okay.
That's what I've been listening, because you have had many interactions. We have to go to the bottom of the pyramid first.
Yeah.
They don't, their MFIs are lending 25,000, 30,000, 40,000. Suddenly we bring them in a bracket of 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 6 lakhs, it all started from day one. Now coming, anyway, first you guys finish, then I have.
Fine, sure. Thank you so much.
So India Shelter is next.
Very good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sanjay sir, for including India Shelter into these 6 housing finance company and showing the confidence on this ability of the company more toward this segment. Before I come to the numbers, about India Shelter Housing Finance started with the core thought of entering into affordable housing segment way back in 2010. So today we are 15 years into the same kind of business and affordable. And the journey remains consistent purely on the affordable side. Largely playing our games in tier 2, tier 3 and beyond. Our average ticket size is around 10 lakh rupees. So that is there for the currently. But when we started long time back in 2010-11, the ticket size was very small, around 1-2 lakh rupees. What Mr. Sanjay sir is suggesting, like even extension of home, maybe one small room, those days the people also look for a loan for building a toilet in their home. All those things were the startups when things happen. So those experiences, those expertise has been developed with time. So now as we progress, obviously with change of time and things, the ticket has gone up, but we have done enough of activities in our history when it's about this kind of ticket size particularly. So this is our current status. If we talk about in 15 states, the spread is very well across north, west, south, and we started from Rajasthan. Yes, highest branches are in Rajasthan, but same way we see across the geography, the distribution is very well set. Whether it's Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana in south, in north, Rajasthan, MP, Maharashtra is in west, all those things have been well set. So at a closure of March 31st, we were 266 branches. Mr. Shukla talked about Bombay. We don't have any branch in Bombay or any big cities like Calcutta. Bangalore again, we have in outskirts. So that's been thorough thoughts around when we are building around this piece. Important particular thing what we have focused on when we are doing these businesses in a third tier 3, tier 4, we can't depend upon channel partners, DSA, something like that. We have to be very near to the customer. So that's been a thought throughout. And if we see the 99% of our sourcing is in-house, that has been always focused. Again, as we talk about, most of business does come from tier 2, tier 3 and beyond. So tier 2, tier 3 alone is 90%. And rest is tier 4, which is the new coming market as we progressing around that piece. Base itself talk about, we have more than 100,000 customer today. Though our AUM is very small, still it's 8,000 crore, but this is the kind of reach and the way the company has expanded ourselves. What we do normally, so 75% customers self-employed
and focus remains self-employed because it's a segment. When we go to tier 3, tier 4 markets, this is the set of customer who is fulfilling the needs of that vicinity. So you'll not find a decent formal salaried customer in those markets. You have to hone our skills in terms of underwriting, keeping in mind those markets and those set of customer. And this 75% is anyway with time going increasing it. Important piece, every loan, we make sure we are giving loan to the families. Husband, wife does come on the loan. So today 99% of loans have a woman as applicant, along with main applicant, maybe sometime their main applicant around, depends upon who owns the property in that case. In fact, the one number I can talk about here, the initiative that company took, more than 47% customer, the woman customer who owns the property here, even in this kind of society which is a lot of taboo on, but still that we are able to increase this by giving the various government initiative, break what you get in terms of registration charges and all. Those is helping us out, and that's what we are doing it. 70% of customer first time mortgage borrowers. That's again because this is a segment what we are trying to deal and that we are trying to crack around basically. This is about our housing and loan against property. Being a housing finance company, 60-40 ratio, we have to maintain it one for TBC requirement, and this remain the basically typical parameters on which we work. Home loan yields are 11% to 14%. We maintain that 5-6% of spread around that piece, and that in this market, that's decent enough to attract the customer as well as giving the right services to that piece particularly. Average ticket size is 10 lakhs, but as you go deeper in the market, the ticket size is little lower in that segment. Mortgage is something like Mr. Shukla mentioned that this is a segment where you need not to discuss about the rate, fees and all. It's more about they're getting a finance. But what we keeping in mind the risk is the LTVs here. So LTVs for housing remains around 55%. In fact, for loan against property is a little more lower than that. But our focus remain on housing. We'll talk housing more here basically. So 55% of LTV that we play around, and this is the way the product is evolving and delivering around these markets. Since this is a 5-minute introduction about India Shelter and what we are doing it, also when this initiative was taken and guidance has been given by NHB to us, we have a discussion with a certain set of players which is MFI, and we feel these are the just warming up sessions. Now it's time to take it to the next level, which we're going to take up. I think this forum is one of that forum where it becomes a place where we can take it to the next piece. So whether it's Annapurna, Pahal, Midland, Cashco, Digambar, these are the companies which we are anyway engaging and taking to the next level. Looking forward, good engagements, and maybe what has been a thinking process around this Sa-Dhan and Mr. Shukla, that hopefully to see a good engagement with the set of customers, set of companies, and taking business to the next level. So small 4-5 minutes what we thought to convey about the message here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, yes.
Anything from that?
I think since this is an entirely new product for them altogether, there's a lot of thinking which is going around, particularly how it's going to work around that. In fact, a couple of them we are deciding on let's keeping model where at least you can start giving the customer, and then we can engage and give back to the feedback simultaneously. So the learning process becomes a continuous from that piece. But it's very, very, very early.
How long will you take this to seal the deal?
There are two things. There's two things. Sealing the deal is the most easiest thing to do that, particularly. It's all about the execution, how strongly we can take it to the next level. The purpose, which is common cross, basically.
But still, how long will you take it?
I feel we are okay to take it up if we start getting a right set of customer leads from that side. But that convergence will take some time, right? How eager the MFIs are there to take it up, that's more on us. We are hungry about the business. We require this kind of customers leads around that piece. Even we engage any aggregator for the leads piece, that becomes very active within 15 days or a month or so. Now it's all about how the synergies are getting built. And today we're meeting a couple of them after this meeting also. Hopefully we conclude it fast. So these kind of meetings, forums, that's always helpful, take it to the next level. That gives us some, benchmarkings also, plus the targets that you have to be there around with that number. So this is what our thoughts. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Even this is my question to all of this housing finance.
So that was heartening to know that India Shelter is in outskirts. So now the next is Soma present.
Soma
Someone.
Okay, sir. There is someone also here.
Yes. Hi. Okay. Great to see everyone here. I think convergence between MFI and housing is, as different as chalk and cheese, as if I may say so, right? The products are so different. Unsecured, small tenor, completely secured, long tenor. Even from the sizes, they are completely diametrically opposite. But I think, we've touched on a lot of points, and this is something we have also seen on the field. One, access to funds itself is a challenge in this, customer set. At Sa-Dhan, as you know, we serve bottom of the pyramid. We are today present in 12 states. I'll just give you a background of the company. So, I'll just go back. Yeah, so today we serve around 350,000 customers. So as you can see, because of the nature of the product, we are small ticket, large scale. It's a volume business in terms of MFI. So we are, I think, one of the youngest MFIs in this room. We are only incorporated 5 years back. So I'm sure some of these metrics for some of the veterans are much, much higher. So, we've served 350,000 customers. Cumulatively, we've disbursed 3,100 crore. And currently AUM stands at 1250 crore. So we are on the verge of touching 400 branches. So even in terms of presence, we are present across 12 states. As you can see, we started with South, but now we have expanded in North as well. So we are present in Bihar, UP, Jharkhand. And I think one of the key areas of difference that you will see is the level of penetration that we MFIs have, right? So even in the 1250 crore AUM, you can see one, the difference is number of branches itself is 400, and two, number of villages that we cover are just massive. So already we are covering 29,000 plus villages, and these villages are visited for us. We are weekly player, but a lot of the MFIs, are visiting every week, fortnight or month. They are actually visiting these villages. They know how the villages are set up, how the customers are set up. And I think that gives us a lot of headroom into, we being a channel to get a lot more financial services, accessible to all these hinterlands. So this is a brief background of Sa-Dhan. And I think just to take a step back and why we were very excited about the housing finance initiative when Gigi told us that, this is something Sa-Dhan is doing, is this is something we saw on the field also. So if you think about it, a lot of the customers, a lot of us have access to loans, right? When we take a house, we are taking a loan. Without that, it's not possible to buy a house in India today, right? It's so expensive. Now think about the bottom of the pyramid guy. He is building a house from equity. Actually, whatever he's earning, he is building. So we actually see, we have a process where we are taking photos of the house at every stage, right? Every loan we take a house, we take a photo. So we can see the progress. For the last 5 years, first the house will be just bricks. Then slowly the cement will come. Then slowly the door will come, right? So it's a 5-year, 7-year journey, and he's pulling out all this money from his equity or maybe borrowing from the microfinance and buying one door at a time and building the house, which is a very, very inefficient way of doing it. Because, as Shuklaji mentioned earlier, one microfinance product is not a housing product, right? It's not suitable on that scale to convert it into housing. And a lot of times we see customers actually borrowing the loan for housing purpose only, because there is no other access. And considering the larger, rate and smaller tenor, unfortunately we felt this is not the suitable product. The second thing that we noticed in this segment is, because the property documents are not always in the right shape, and a lot of times the original house itself is in a very bad condition. So, we have to figure out a way to kind of solve for this problem. So that is another area where we have to think about what we can do, because sometimes these plots are very small, but at the same time, the customers are very motivated to build a very pakka house, right? And as microfinance practitioners, we actually have a housing assessment survey. As a proxy, we use it to assess the income. What better way to assess income than where the housing status of the customer lies? So this is one more area where we have been actively working on to understand what is the status of the house currently, and if the customer's house is getting better over time, then it validates our purpose also. Because if the customer's house is getting better, they are getting better income wise as well. What other better metric is available in the market today? So I think that's where we are focused on making the life better for our customers as well over time. And the last thing that I would like to kind of just harp upon is the rate itself. I think microfinance, we are at the 24%, 20% rate also because of the fact that my field staff is actually visiting every week, right, which adds a lot of cost. So if we can graduate the customers to a self-service model, either through a NACH with a better product, I think the rate will subsequently come down because our rate, one, obviously cost of borrowing is also a big component, but if I leave that aside, the OPEX also comes because my staff has to go every week, and a better way to graduate customers to a individual model, we feel that it's not the unsecured individual loan, but it's a secured individual loan, which is a much better product, and customers own their house, they will be motivated to kind of pay off that loan, and we can also offer a better loan. And this behavior we are seeing already in the southern market. I didn't pull up the slide here, but in the southern market already you can see 5 to 10% overlap between affordable housing and MFI already happening. And in fact, one of the key problems that we face in microfinance, as all of the practitioners know, is about ringleaders. And if you understand the root cause of why, you know, the pooling of loans is happening, lot of times the ringleader takes the loan because they want to build their house. And they are only getting 40,000 at a time, but they want 3 lakh, you know. So what they do is they take loans from 6 people at 24%, which is very suboptimal. So if you can get a way for them to access, you know, a 2-3 lakh loan at a subsidized price for a longer tenure, the EMIs also become affordable. I think that's one of our motivations why we wanted to kind of, you know, partner with some of the larger entities, learn from their experience, and kind of design our process flows accordingly. So going forward, I think we've met with PNB housing team. So in fact, I'm personally visiting one of their branches in Chennai tomorrow. So tomorrow or day after, one of the days, I think team has blocked for me, just to understand how the process works. And we've also wanted to check how to fit that into microfinance context and kind of build out a product. So that's what we are after. And that's all from our side. Thanks. Thanks.
And your perspective on housing. Now, the last one is napkins. Devinder, presentation.
NAPFINS, it is a subsidiary of NABARD with equity from primarily from NABARD, Government of Karnataka, Union Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, and some private banks like Federal Bank and Dhanlaxmi Bank. So it is registered as an NBFC during the year 2008, and our primary vision is to focus on transparency and client-centric services. So going into the numbers, we have a presence in 18 states and 1 union territory, and we have also our presence in Northeast. Totally, we have 470 plus branches and active clients of 11 lakh with a portfolio size of 3,590 crores, and totally 254 employees are there. And we have a robust presence in Tamil Nadu in the south and we are in the north. We have 3 products per se. The first one is a direct lending product that is in the form of joint liability groups. It is a size of like 4 to 10 people in the group. And the second one is a BNDC model, that is business and development correspondence model. Basically, these are voluntary organizations or NGOs who nurture SHGs. We take the support of NGOs for lending to the SHGs, and these BNDCs help in sourcing and also recovery. It's a kind of a DCA model. We call it as BNDC model. And the last one is secondary level institution. Like we lend to NBFCs and NGOs who like a bulk lending, who in turn lend to the SHGs, JLGs, and individuals. And our hero product is the direct lending model. And here this slide basically says that consistently the last 4 years we had been on an inclining trend. Our portfolio has increased. Even the last year being a kind of stress in the MFI sector, still we had a growth of 18%. And this one, incidentally, we had moved to a new software just to accommodate new businesses. The major features being the multi-factor authentication, mobile number validation of customers, KYC validation through API integrations, though we have a manual verification mechanism also, and it is also done through an API integration, and digital loan documentation, And automated BRs, all those FOIR calculation, other things do happen at the system level. Besides, we also have a credit cell in place. And we also encourage, most of the MFIs do operate through cash collection. We now started encouraging the UPI collection. So we do have a dynamic QR code, like each payment, there would be a dynamic QR in place where customers have been encouraged to pay through the UPI mode through the dynamic QR. And we also have started incentivizing such payments. And as during the introductory speech, Gigi Minister told that the non-qualifying asset that has been increased to 40%, and we wanted to grab this opportunity, and we are looking for new business also. And the first one being the affordable housing. We have been in discussion with a couple of housing finance companies also in the last 1 month. And we are also in touch with the RBI FinTech Department and Canara Bank for a programmable CBDC, that is Central Bank Digital Currency, for an emergency loan product that is also in pipeline. And the last one is the business loan, these three. And we have done some groundwork in this affordable housing segment also. Like we had a small survey in southern Tamil Nadu, and we were also able to take some 130 customers, like their requirements, their average ticket size, and what is the need, whether it is a renovation or the new construction. And we could see a couple of challenges. Alternately, like I would like to put it as, it's not a challenge per se, it is a kind of, we have to work it out. Like the average ticket size is approximately like 3 to 4 lakhs, starting from 2 lakhs to 8 lakhs. So there might be some minimum ticket size in the housing companies, which may not be directly workable for MFI sector. So the minimum ticket size has to be worked out. The second one is a title deed. So all our customers, 100% are women. So the title might be in the one of the family members might be their spouse. So how good we are to lend to their spouse, like it is directly lending to the spouse or to the customer itself, and there is agreement that should be worked out. These two were the key challenges. And the third, it is a model, like it is a DSA or co-lending. We are open for co-lending or DSA model of lending. And we are open for a handshake with the housing finance companies. Thank you.
So we are given to understand that Annapurna also has a PPT. So Annapurna T, yeah, please. And also Tata.
My request to HFC is that we have to get out of this minimum ticket size, as you rightly said, because when we had this initiative, probably it was my bad that I did not mention the minimum ticket size. It has to start with 75 or 1 lakh rupees. See, you are having such a large balance sheet, all HFCs whom I introduced to this platform, they all had a large balance sheet. For them, 100 crore, 40 crore, 30, 35 crore, they have to start their marking like this. And you will have to either move on a FLDG model also can be worked. So then also, because if you want a perfect title, then forget this initiative, which should say thank you to each other. So you will not get, because when I was seeing the presentation, everybody talked about the ticket size and all. So those ticket sizes are not going to work. So normally the way MFI or a customer whom we are trying to deliver this product is the customer will either build a toilet or he build an additional loan. He is having a house. See, nobody will come to you for completion or a construction of a new house. If you are targeting, you may not qualify this as your housing finance asset. Maybe it is a non-HL asset. Because if you want a HL asset, all those criteria which you are looking at is not good. So let us earmark some amount. Let's work on FLDG model. Let's work on co-lending SLM. And there the companies also, the MFIs also, they have the issues of a long-term borrowing. Exactly. That's good. For that, we will have to work out. See, first we should not look at 1,000 crore, 5,000 crore kind of number. Let's start with 50 crore, 30 crore, 20 crore, 30, whatever is done. See, when I introduced Sundaram to South, based MFIs, the idea was not to make it a very crowded place. We'll identify some good companies who are operating in this space or have presence in that state. So they will integrate with the MFIs operating in that state. It is not just some Delhi-based, MFI going and talking to Sundaram in Chennai. If Sundaram wants to lend money in form of term loan to that, see first you go and study the MFI. See, there is one way could be you give a term loan. Because term loan is a much more safer model because given our journey as a housing finance company, we all are supposedly risk averse. We used to be very risk averse and Mr. Mehta was running HDFC. After that we came in and then we took slight risk. Now all of you are also, see now this Patta property sale. Jaipur, if you go by the housing finance definition, none of you can fund Jaipur, all these societies, except those which are already approved by JDA. We all fund it with the hope that the customer will not default. So why can't we extend the same thought to this segment also? At best, if you work on a FLDG model, then your loss can be minimized to a great extent. Second, if you work on a DSA model, then your servicing and your OPEX can be reduced because everything is taken care of by MFI. But here also I would recommend that you should also have some checklist. The MFI should be existence of 5 years, 7 years, having a balance sheet, because we don't want people who just got into the sector and because we have opened up this, they're coming and joining hands with you and tomorrow you end up in losing money. So when we are setting up this rural housing fund with 7% lending to you, I'm just giving a number. So you can, onward lending you can do it for 10%, 10.5%, but let them also set their own limit of 15%, 16% for 7 years. 15% for 7-year product, don't go for 15-year product. 15-year product will also increase your cost of operation and it is very difficult to track. See, currently MFI customers are used to only 2-year tenor. Make it 5 years, make it 7 years. So that is what I'm saying, you forget this 2 lakh, 5 lakh, all those numbers which I was seeing. So it's a non-starter. If you start with 2 lakh, it will not take. नहीं चाहिए उनको 2 लाख का, उनको 25,000 के लोन की आदत है, आप उसको 1 लाख दीजिए, उसको प्लास्टर कराने, आप होम लोन मत दीजिए, आप लैब दीजिए उसको, इफेक्टिव क्राइटेरिया, आप MFI को बोलिए कि आप मेरे को बस FLDG दीजिए, MFI, if he is a repeat customer of MFI will be more than happy to give you, because most of these customers are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times repeat customers, so there is no reason that he takes one loan from you through them and he defaults, no. So the model, I think in this meeting, in fact, I would suggest let's form a core working group, because I will be very happy if we lend, all of us, lend the first loan on first Monday of October, which is World Habitat Day. So that day we should have a target. See, unless we fix a target, we'll keep meeting, talking, and having a cup of tea, and then we'll go back. We'll fly back to our perspective. So I am a very result-oriented guy, and especially in housing finance, these people would have seen in last 10 months what I have done. So if we keep, unless we fix a deadline, it will not happen. आप करो ना क्या? 15 crore, let's keep a small target. कि PNB housing आवास को 10 crore का लोन करना है. 10 crore क्या होता है? आप 10 कस्टमर को दे देते हो बिग टिकट में. वो 10 crore में अगर आप लाख रुपया 75,000 रुपए करोगे, तो how many numbers it is? Most 1,000 loan. 10 crore में. So 1,000 loan is a big number. For you, your bottom line, your profitability, your AUM may not grow. So here we have to come with a different thought process. Because tomorrow these customers whom I am lending 1 lakh rupees, tomorrow they are prospect of 2 lakh rupees over a period of time. See, the purpose we are setting up new home loan deposit scheme, in fact we are coming up with a new home loan deposit scheme, where we are trying to create a set of people who will be our future customers. Because who don't have today the margin money, they can't buy a property, so we are building a saving habit for them for 4 years, and whatever is outstanding, that becomes their margin money. So that's how we are also, because if I really want to do something today, then we will be never be able to make the market. Our job is to make the market, not for today, tomorrow. You may not be empty, somebody else will come and he'll take it forward. But today our job is to make the market. So kindly, Gigi, my request is that make a core working group of 4, 5 people or 10 people, or एक नंबर पे आते हैं, हमारा टिकट साइज ये होगा, टेनर ये होगा, ये 3 मॉडल है, एक तो DSC मॉडल है, co-lending मॉडल है, because see, most of these MFIs may not be in a position except NAFIN and all to have access to long term. So let NAFIN wants to do it, let's try their CLM2, that on the tap securitization. But someone which is a bigger one, we'll try with them the FLDG model. And If you are lending at 16% or 15%, give them 2%, 3%, 4%. It will improve their return on equity because there is not a fund-based income for them. For those who work on FLDG or वो सोचना है मेरे को प्रोडक्ट नहीं बनाना है, मेरे को एक एक्सटेंशन नहीं करना है क्योंकि एक्सटेंशन करने जाएंगे नंबर नहीं होंगे, कुछ नहीं होगा. After 1 year we will be sitting in the same room, we will be discussing the same. Because the industry will always come with the mindset of that housing finance which they do. इन्हें मेरे को property भी title चाहिए. अभी क्या है, we are opening a new door. So they have taken the risk of Jaipur. Our big khata property in Bangalore. So similar, that logic has to be extended just because the person is 75,000. As a small guy, you believe that only big guys don't default, the small guys always default. Please change your mindset.
So in fact, in Bhubaneswar, we did a pilot sometime just before COVID, I think, along with, I think they were also there, Habitat also was there. Yes, yes. So there, what they did was that they got a certificate from the
MHFC, Swatantra MHFC.
Yeah, that is, in fact, if really somebody wanted, incidentally, that company also had migrated to next level, but that was the first HFC, which was really intended to help the people of the world. You know, that time I was with these guys only on the other side, but I had a great respect for that. That is acquired by somebody today, and probably they moved away from there. But he was the guy who used to help tea vendor, Rajneesh and Madhu. They used to help. That was an amazing business model, and that they also made good money when they sold the company. It is not that you only make money by giving 10 lakh, 15 lakh loan. This ticket size was 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh.
No, I was trying to say that they had an alternative mechanism of assessing the ownership. I think the local municipal committee or something.
It's not possible, but इन लोग को आदत होता है कि उनको टाइटल रिपोर्ट पक्का चाहिए. जब धंधा करना होता है तो भी खाता भी करने लग जाते हैं और तब उनको टाइटल नहीं चाहिए. So sorry, it is said in a writer. It's not that my friend. They have been kind enough that they said sir we supported this initiative.
So what we can do is that, you rightly said it, we can have a small working group discussing.
Working group with a target date of giving the deliverables on 15th August, 16th, 17th August, because अभी time नहीं है आपके पास.
Another 10 days,
100 loan on bird habitat day, then this is the way we have to work. So we will only select 5-6 good companies, MFIs with vintage. We will send to everyone, not that we are only focused with 5 housing finance companies and 5 MFIs. Select them with good vintage, good track record, and work jointly. Let's lose 500 homes.
Sure.
Also, we will come back to you for the names of the HFCs and we will also.
We can form a group here only.
These are the only groups, so in fact we can include Satish Mehta also, if he is the veteran, only person who knows housing more than me is he sitting in this room. Probably we started at like 1 or 2 years, so he will see to us. So you can include him, you can include the 4-5 industry, 5 और give them a target. कि वो मेरे को 15 अगस्त के पहले मेरे को final product चाहिए. Let the company not have the liberty of making their product. This is the product, you want to fall in line, come here at the time.
And again, I have a feeling that probably the MFIs also may have to go to the board and take an approval for the new. So I think we can start initiate.
Anybody will have this quarter result, which will be taken up this month or next month. The board approval can be taken.
Yeah, that's right. So those things can.
By circulation also. So you can avoid it. If you want him, अगर आपको करना है, then I can suggest some 500 ways.
No, there are. And again, I would feel that we can also keep make it a little more open so that if somebody wants to go for it, even new housing also can also be part of that.
So new housing में जाएंगे ना तो वो new housing में वो time लगेगा. पहले हम एक चीज को address करते हैं. I promise you in 6 months I will extend it to everything what you want to do. But first let them come and taste the color of this product. They don't know the color of this product. Let them feel it's blue or black or white. अभी तो सबको लग रहा है कि हमारा छोटा extension है. See, they are mixing affordable and micro loans. But micro loan 30,000 होता है. इनमें से किसी का product minimum product 3 लाख से नीचे नहीं है वहाँ तक. 3 लाख होगा. So first they have to reduce the ticket size for this segment to 1 lakh or 1 lakh is a decent amount. So let's not lower that 1 lakh. And then also then you should have an internal cap. Cost of fund pay 300, 500, 700 basis points, whatever. If they are lending at 16 6 बार का रिपीट कस्टमर होना चाहिए, जो भी आप लोग सोचिए, तो वो कंफर्ट देगा आपको। टाइटल में डिफेक्ट है, हम इंग्लिश मॉर्गेज कर लेंगे, इंग्लिश मॉर्गेज करने भी जाएंगे तो गांव में सस्ता प्रॉपर्टी होता है, हार्डली एनीथिंग हो जाएगा, प्रॉपर्टी आपका सेफ हो गया, फिर आपको वकील भी आपका अप्रूवल दे देगा। बट हाँ, then you have to ensure that the cost to the customer is minimized. Then you have to have a lawyer who will not charge 2,000 rupees. You have to say, well, we'll give you good business in smaller town. They are more than happy. But the company also proactively will have, see, you will have to take it as a CSR plus project for HFC. It is a CSR plus project. Tomorrow it will open up an opportunity, but on day one it will not. कुछ नहीं होता 15 करोड़ 20 करोड़ रुपए भाई जो
देखो ये जो अफोर्डेबल के अंदर में गवर्नमेंट लेड में 1-1.5 लाख रुपए का भी किया
तो किया है ना, तो कभी को थोड़ा सा बढ़ाइए। अब हमको जो गन्ने के खेत में वो लोग काम करते हैं, गुड़ निकालने वाले, उनके पास जाना है।
We should put a map of state-wise, you know, couple of.
That is one of the reason I give 5 companies and 5 days, because if somebody is strong in south, he should be strong in south. Not you have a large population. So we have PLB, we have India Shelter, we have Awas. So these are the people you should, and plus you will have to think of a regional product also. What will work in north may not work. So accordingly you have to create a work, study group. Let them come up, do 5 दिन का काम था, अभी आज आप बना दीजिए, and I can monitor once in a month. Sure. I will be more than happy, but to get associated with it. Because doing this, unless you open the new market, it is very, very difficult, because so much focus on housing by the government. If we are not able to crack this at this point of time, we will never be able to crack. तो उसके लिए कुछ sacrifice करना, कुछ थोड़ा सोचना हटके, because see today if I look at from a HFC's perspective, the amount of profit from this sector will come, so this initiative will come, even they can do it by opening one branch. But then they should not look at it as a branch, they should look at it as a customer creation. Because the same set of guys, today what is happening, MFI, from graduating from MFI to personal loan, it takes 5 to 7 years for a customer. He has to have a repeat score 5, 6 times. So we will have to break that, and we have to step in and say, boss, we are there. And if these guys are taking MFI loan for building a toilet, renovating the house, and they are not defaulting, why they will default it? You are giving a longer tenor, you are giving, collection periodicity also, monthly, they have a weekly, and fortnightly.
In fact, we also have.
In fact, you can include India Bulls also. They have come back and now they are in their business. That is there.
India Bulls.
Yeah. Okay. So you can include that. Them also have a 6-7 because those who are hungry for business, and plus they want to make this shift happen.
In fact, we also have a history of some of the borrowers whom the microfinance institution has lent for the toilet purpose. So we had a product actually, toilet financing with the help of wash loans, water.org. So there could be one of the earliest to look at.
So many things can be done.
We have 7.5% of our customers which are MFI holders.
That's what I'm saying. 7.5% you already having. Only thing you should not stand for business of MFI. Tomorrow is start lending lab. The purpose of this forum will be repeated. That is a gentleman agreement you should have. You guys will see the business opportunity and jump on it. So let us. Now we can.
Hear from the others also.
I mean, there will be a round of discussion. Thank you, sir, for this one. So let us finish the presentation also.
Yeah, Annapurna, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm from Annapurna Finance team. I'm part of the product department, product and strategy, and Soumik sir heads our risk department, as a credit and risk department for MSME vertical. So I'll brief about a bit what we do at Annapurna Finance. We're a pioneer in microfinance industry. We're the top 5 NBFC MFI. We have a book value of more than 10,000 crore right now. We'll discuss a bit of existing product. And we also did a bit of innovation in our microfinance clients, as we are discussing right now. How can we create a client graduation model? Can we deliver a product to existing existing MFI clients who have a household income less than 3 lakhs, or you can graduate them to the ticket bucket of between 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs. And we'll discuss. We have a housing loan portfolio, It's around close to 200 crore POS right now. We'll discuss about that as well. So we started as a microfinance company in 2009, and we again graduated ourselves to a finance company when we started a non-qualifying asset vertical. When categorically we were doing lab product and both in secured and unsecured loan as well, and we also provide home loan as well. So our mission is primarily to reach out to 40 lakhs women and empower them and give them financial security. We also have started a green, we're initiating a green vertical where primarily looking into financing renewable energy and decentralized renewable energy products. And we do have a rooftop solar finance product as well, which is under pilot phase. Still we have achieved close to 30 crore book size over there. So currently we have more than 1600 branches, active clients close to 30 lakhs as of today, and gross loan portfolio is around 12,000 crore as of now. The numbers are up to 31st March. We have an employee strength of 16,000 employees spread across 21 states, and we're catering right now to 65,000 villages across these 21 states. So let's talk about a bit of existing products. I have divided into MFI and MSME. GLG sits, takes the majority of our book. It's around 9,000 crore with 26 lakh clients. We have a water and sanitation loan, and recently we were discussing about how can we graduate MFI clients. We have created a new product. It's called individual business loan. So basically the matured MFI clients who have already undergone 3-4 MFI cycles, who have a credit vintage, have an existing business, we're tapping into that client. As of today, we have crossed 80 crore of disbursement. So its ticket size is an average of 80-90,000, max 1 lakh right now we're catering, though we want to extend it up to 2 lakhs, where we can also cater into income size between 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs customers. And the average ticket size of overall MFI book is around 60,000, average tenure is 24 months, and the client base is 28 lakhs. So we'll move to MSME products. We have a business loan, proper lab product, and again we have an unsecured loan as well. We also provide loan to NIP customers. The POS stands around 1257 with a client base of 45,000. We have a home loan product. The POS is around 216 crore with a client base of 4,300 odd. Then we have a rooftop solar loan, which is still under pilot phase. We have a POS as of March 31st is 23 crore and a client base of 600. And we have doing a program with SIDBI, and the POS is right now 121. So you can see the average ticket size is a bit higher here, 4.3 lakhs. Majority falls into unsecured loan as well and secured as well. And the average tenure is much higher than the MFI. It's more than 5 years, and the client base is 55,000 right now.
So within that space, we are covering the customers who are taking loan for housing loan related induce. So we are present in 16 states, and we have around 4,300 borrowers which have taken POS of about 216 crore. These states are basically majorly Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Bihar, MP, CG, Odisha. These are the major states where we are present, and this average ticket size is around 6 lakhs with average tenure of around 19% and average ROI of average tenure of 93 months. This program started in 2018 onwards. So we have done already done securitizations with HFCs also, and we are doing co-lending with SIDBI for business loan. So everything is in place for this product to take up for housing loan related end use. So we were handicapped because of the higher tenure. So we were not able to do much higher this housing finance loans. But if there is an opportunity, we can definitely take up to next level. So thank you Sa-Dhan and NHB for giving us this platform. We were looking forward for this opportunity.
So if you get 19%, even if you have securitized, you would have securitized at 1,200 basis point, right?
Yes, sir.
Not more than that.
Yes.
Because the 700 basis point spread is there. And look what they have done smartly. 700 basis point there as a middleman. So this opportunity is there, which you can also, you can share the profit 50-50. 350, and for them the cost of fund is 9.5 because Annapurna is
a little higher, sir.
bit higher right now.
Yes,
But
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have subsidized at 12.5.
Yes, sir.
तो 2.5% वो वैसे ही आपको मिल रहा है, 7% इधर पे और
Yes, sir.
2.5% HFC को मिल रहा है. So why can't we grab this space and it's all tested?
Yes, sir.
Because even if they would have securitized with a 6-month vintage or a CLM2 में किया तो on tap तो नहीं होगा, 6 months vintage वाला ही होगा ये.
Housing finance वाला securitization है, and business loan we have done with co-lending with SIDBI.
Securitization also we have two models, ना?
No, this is our 6 month. Yes, 6 month. Yes, 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 yes.
तो वो तुम लेके गए 7% वो रख रहे हैं और 2.5% HFC को मिल रहा है तो 10% मिल रहा है. अभी आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी है अगर आप इसको स्ट्रेट अटैक करना चाहो आप कर सकते हो.
Even the tenure also.
And then when we come up with the rural housing fund, we will do that so that we can put part of this as a eligible asset. So there your cost of fund will be 7.7 which is stands today for as per an HB lending.
And how is your recovery?
सर इसमें अराउंड 3% है हमारा NPA ओवरऑल.
NPA या par?
नहीं, NPA I'm talking about. Because the last 6 months there are some there's a overlapping of microfinance customer. Ultimately this customer segment also has 30-40% of microfinance customer. Yes, 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 yes.
Thank you very much.
Realizable value कुछ ना कुछ तो मिलेगा.
Yes, sir. No, yes, LTV is around 50% only.
LTV 50% है अभी तो हमको ज़्यादा ही मिलेगी.
Is this all secured?
Yes, 100%.
we used to have an HIL product in terms of microfinance clients.
You are originated from Odisha. If you
Yeah.
look at Odisha, why would Odisha number be from?
Yes, because since as I was talking about the business loan, that is around 1200 crore. So that 1200 crore also distributed in this major 5 states. So from there only we are getting the leads.
No,
It's
so this case is there.
Ba-
We are saying that we are also present in Odisha, but we struggle to get the numbers.
So we don't have much presence in Odisha also, no. In terms of portfolio, we don't have Odisha major contribution portfolio.
You have 110 branches.
No, so basically I will explain you. So
This
basically
is
we have
total.
So we have two verticals, right? One is MSME and MFI.
Hey, this is not branches. This is total number of customer.
Bhubaneswar based, right?
Yes.
So Odisha is a major state.
Yes.
Odisha is the one where you are major.
Yes.
Major state, mother state. Right?
So microfinance portfolio is major. Around 30%, yes, 25 to 30% microfinance portfolio is in Odisha, but not this housing and business loan. LAP is not from business loan, not from Odisha.
Sorry, I'll just clarify this because I think they know the answer, they are not saying it clearly. They have two verticals mainly. One is the microfinance vertical, which is majorly Orissa, mother state onwards.
Yeah.
The MSME vertical is predominant in these major states, not in Orissa. And housing loan business is coming from these MSME branches, which is why you see housing loan exposure is also on other states and not in Orissa.
So to give you perspective, we have 14 branches out of 200 MSME branches in Odisha, and we have
Only 14
more than
in
250 branches just in Odisha for microfinance. So even we are doing some graduating products for microfinance clients, the major book value in Odisha, but the case is otherwise in terms of MSME.
You are getting the leads from there only, right?
Yeah, these are all organic leads.
Yes.
most of them.
100% in-house sourcing. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next is Shubham Housing.
My name is Bhuvan Pathak and I'm head of marketing for Shubham Housing Finance. And with me, Mr. Himanshu Kohli, he is head of product. Thank you, Sa-Dhan and Sanjay sir, for providing us opportunity to present our company profile. So, Shubham Housing Finance, it was incorporated in 2010, and it's a long journey. And we received our NHB license in 2011. As of now, we are presence in 12 states. So this is about our company details. So it is, our founder is Mr. Sanjay Chaturvedi and Ms. Rupa Basu. So they have experience over 6 decades, and our AUM is around 6,000 crore plus, and split of 62% between HL, LAP, and other product. So customer, if we talk about the customer split, so we have 51% of customer from salaried and other one is self-employed. So ATS, our ticket size is around 9.5, 10 lakh approx. So these are spread of our branches. So we have presence in 12 states and 144 cities, and as of now we have 179 branches, and by the year end it will be 200 plus branches. So this is a split of our branch network. So we have presence in 12 states: Maharashtra, UP, Delhi, MP, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Telangana, AP, Haryana, Punjab and Uttarakhand. So recently we moved to South in last 2-3 years only. So this is a split of our customer segment. So 38% from formal salaried and 14% from informal salaried customer base. So 10% from formal self-employed and 38% from informal self-employed. So you can see the average household income is 38,000 for our customer segment, and 21% are from the new to credit customer, those who don't have any CIBIL record and other thing. And average age is 38 year is average, and you can see that 95% is women borrower, maybe they are borrower or they are co-borrowers. And average ticket size, I already mentioned, it is around 10 lakh. So this is about we are serving the underserved customer segment. These are some of the customer testimony. So we are financing to lady tailors, office assistant, small shop owners, account manager, vet doctor, or small shop owner. So these are just a small glimpse. So we are here to, our product manager is also here, our product head is here. So we are here to, interact with you, because in the world of virtual, so it's a golden opportunity for us to meet you face to face. So thanks a lot to everyone. Thank you. Yeah.
I see from 2-3 presentations.
Yeah.
Kerala is not covered in with housing.
Yeah.
Is there any specific reason?
So South sir, we are slowly penetrating. Tamil Nadu. Yeah. So
it's not now. Since ages. Since ages.
They don't need money.
Lot of banks in here. So it's a bank. Housing is a passion for the people, for the craze of the people.
The local bank, South Indian Bank.
Good afternoon, everyone, and apologies for the delay. But coming from Ahmedabad, you don't crib about the delay. You just feel thankful that you landed in good time. So, having said that, we are headquartered out of Ahmedabad. Thank you, NHB, Sa-Dhan, Tavaliga, Habitat for Humanity for this. I think long overdue. I mean, we have been trying to kind of sniff around a lot on microfinance plus products, and I think it's great to see you, Sanjay sir, in terms of the kind of push that you are fillip that you are giving to this this entire initiative. Really, 2 million customers is what we are targeting. We are a 15-year-old institution headquartered out of Ahmedabad, microfinance institution, with a very clear vision to look at, the customer-centric approach and be at the various life cycle requirements of the customers as they go about, improving their lives. We have close to 3,000 employees, close to about 2,000 crores of portfolio outstanding, and we're looking at slides. We've been supported by over 45 financial institutions across the spectrum, and our focus is really in terms of the west, north, and central India. In terms of our branches, we are close to about 360 branches at a portfolio of about 1,800 crores. Satish is actually the chair of our board, and we are very privileged to have him because as we foray into this initiative, his guidance and his overall kind of experience of the sector is going to allow us to do things which probably might be difficult for a lot of others to kind of immediately implement, and more importantly what not to do, because Satish is a very strong risk profile, and he's got a very diverse set of experience across HDFC as well as CIBIL. We have a fairly marquee board in terms of the people who are kind of supporting, along with the kind of investors. Most of our investors are high quality impact investors looking at all-round development of this customer segment and really go beyond microfinance. This is really our current presence. As you can see, we are predominantly present in Gujarat, MP, Rajasthan, Bihar, and Uttar Pradesh. We just forayed into the southern geographies about a couple of years back, and Tamil Nadu is where we are kind of quite prominent amongst the southern geographies. We've served over 1 million customers in our journey with close to about 600,000 active borrowers as we speak. In the last year, we had a disbursement of about 1,200 crores across the 156 districts that we operate. I really wanted to focus our product portfolio here and the fact that we have been one of the earlier organizations to kind of diversify in terms of the non-qualifying assets. I think with the approach that we thought that you're nurturing a customer for a new to credit customer for a microfinance loan, and then as the customer gets ready to go to the next level, you kind of generally tend to hand over the borrower to a bank or to HFC or to NBFC, which kind of did not make sense to us, because we really wanted to be with the customer on the various stages of their requirement. So we developed the individual loans product across unsecured, secured businesses, business loans, cattle loans, dairy products over the last decade, and as we speak, roughly about, we have really utilized the non-qualifying to the hilt. We also have a secured loan vertical where we really focus on utility vehicles for a lot of our borrowers. So there is a kind of a credit mechanism, credit culture that we have built in, which is kind of very different from the mainstream conventional microfinance credit that most MFIs kind of have built over the last few years. I thought this is the opportunity in the context of Pearl which I wanted to share. The fact that we have been able to kind of through the efforts of SROs and the blessings from RBI, we've been able to get the qualifying assets to 60%. Straight away throws up the opportunity in Pearl's context to do additional 200 crores of incremental disbursement under the non-qualifying sector. And I think as a business model, as most microfinance entities who are present here in the room realize that unsecured lending has its ups and downs, and therefore as a diverse model of business, I think secured lending is something which is extremely essential to the kind of stability of the business. We have seen over the last 12 to 18 months how the business has got impacted due to various reasons. And that is where I think we really feel that this partnership with NHB will go a long way. In fact, we have been working on a pilot with Habitat for Humanity for the last close to 2 years and developed a template where we have started doing housing finance, housing loans for not house repairs or expansion or even kind of improvements. I think one very important element that we realize, and I think we've been talking with a few housing finance companies on this, is there a scope to do unsecured housing finance? Given that there is a kind of a need at 100,000 rupees or 150,000 rupees, while we may want to kind of have a secured
kind of a product. But there is a lot of, and as Sanjay ji said, the documentation at best would probably be inconsistent. So there is a kind of a food for thought for the HFCs to look at this. I mean, apart from the fact that some of the other challenges that as MFIs we face in terms of the long-term requirement for the funding, the asset liability mismatch, and the ability to kind of evaluate the customer from a kind of a property perspective. I think there is a kind of a world over when microfinance has kind of migrated to microfinance plus housing finance has been one of the key enablers for this segment. But then, I mean, traditional thought of moving beyond ironclad security is something that needs to be kind of thought through by this podium. We have been under discussion with PNB Housing Finance for developing a co-lending partnership, and we are hoping that given this opportunity of scale, we will kind of succeed in terms of the timelines that have been set up. So at that, thank you very much for this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that brief.
So there are two ways of doing the thing. Now, can we have 5-10 minutes open house discussion, or we will go for a break and come back and have a discussion? So I presume it would be good if we have a 5-10 minutes discussion.
Yes, because sir will not be.
No, I will retain. I have requested him for now this presentation on policy.
Move kar dete hain because I am have to go this is 12:45.
12:45.
So let's have
Okay. So,
another 20 minutes.
Thank you, Sa-Dhan. Thank you, NHB, for this opportunity. This is actually part of a larger process we will discuss as we go along later in the day. But in the interest of time, so within the team we use this language very colloquially, not to be taken seriously. So we say like we are basically running a dating app now. Like the individuals are there, they are all ready, prepared, they have done it. It's not that, as you would have seen in the presentations as well, it's not a new concept, it's all there out there in the market. We need to get them to talk, we need to get them to date, and then we need to get to that Swayamvar stage, engagement, and eventually marriage. Yeah, so the date has been announced already. Yeah, date has already been announced. So we think we are, while in some sense we are oversimplifying in some ways, and in some sense it's actually complicated, because we have been part of these discussions as well. The HFC's MFI conversations, we have been part of those discussions, and we are clearly seeing that it's coming out that there is some hesitation, limitation, some questions openly asked, some not so well articulated. At least in those discussions, it's also a function of who is there in those meetings and how this is panning out. But then we need to start somewhere, and that is how this session is all about. Like, we need to, at least by the end of this day, if we can go out of this room with that one partner and that one state where we are going to start, I think it's a good place to start with for all of us, which is also why we are literally forcing all of you into this room so that we can get this going. If there are any fundamental issues, which is like regulatory process and stuff like that, we need to clearly articulate, because we have Mr. G.G. Mamin, who's representing Sa-Dhan SRO, which is in effect can put it across to the regulators. We have Mr. Sanjay Shukla on this side, National Housing Bank supervisor, promoter, financier, can again put it across both at RBI and at DFS. He is on his own, even while this dialogue is happening, has taken more initiatives, started earmarking funds specifically for this. He's able to articulate it. He has been on our side for several years. It's only on few months now he's on the other side. So he understands our challenges and problems better. This is our best opportunity to articulate what we need to articulate to him, right? Like, so I think quite a few things came out very clearly. Like, we need to have a starting point. Threshold is clearly 1 lakh. where we will have to start. So it should look like 1 lakh onwards types. Maybe a tenure at 5, 10 years types is where we need to start. The starting point can be anything. So again, we have deliberately kept ourselves out of the actual conversations, like how RBI says, right? Like we don't want to control interest rates, but we will do everything around without really actually doing it. So same thing approach is what we have taken here also. We do not want to specify what you should be doing, because the whole idea was it will emerge. Some of them will be comfortable doing only referring a client and then everything else is on the housing finance company side. Some of them may want a bigger pie of share of the pie and things like that. So we've seen all that. But just that it still goes in circles. So we thought this is the day when we can like really pinpoint and get certain actual things happen between one HFC, one MFI, one state on one model, right? Like if we can even go out at the end of the day with that, it will be great. So that is where we want to start off. Any specific challenges which you have encountered, which you want to be like? I think, yeah, yes sir. Anyone? Anyone wants to go first? The ones who did not present, Midland, Amitesh, you want to start? Yeah, you have Digambar next.
Yeah, very good afternoon everybody. I think I represent Midland Microfinance as a Chief Operating Officer and CFO. So we are in touch with one of our company. I think I will not like to name that, but I think frankly speaking, I think Mr. Sukla sir has already mentioned about few things probably HFC has to work upon, because they are not clear with their own processes, how they want to connect with MFIs, what is the model they are looking forward, what kind of information they wanted to really share, they do not wanted to share. So these are few things which probably is an hiccups. We have 2-3 round of discussion with their leadership team, but still discussion is going on because there is a lack of clarity, what need to be done, what not, and this is lingering on the process. So I think fantastic idea by Mr. Sukla that we need to have a co-working group and fix these issues, then probably we can roll it out as soon as possible. I think this is one thing which we are also encountering it, and we are supposed to fix it to take it forward.
Sure, great, thanks. Digambar?
Hi, good afternoon all. I represent Digambar. My name is Naveen. I am working as a CBO over there. So there are a couple of things which emerge in the room. One is that the need of right product for these kind of customers, and I think there is that is the means like whatever group we will decide here, we will be working on that, and then they will come up. But two things we need to think. One is that if you want to start something, we need to start with whatever available, and then make it happen as a bigger way with designing our product and all. Second, if we want to make it sustainable, then what we need to do? Because if you see, the mismatch will happen when our locations, our customers' locations, and the HFC location. So if they want to go for more underwriting and more thing, probably it will be not cost effective for them with this kind of ticket size. So we have to come out with a minimal underwriting where MFI and HFC can jointly work, that these are the things which you will be evaluate, and these are the things from where we will be taking forward for credit underwriting. Number two, if they want to go and visit all the customers, how the model will look like, because they can't put every place branches, and our customer will not be comfortable visiting their branches because they have their own limitations, and mostly they are habituated to get on-door step loans and all. Okay, so these kind of changing their mindset or bringing them to these kind of conditions, probably in beginning they will not be comfortable, but slowly when they are exposed to, they will be. So we need to take these kind of things into consideration whenever we are designing a product or whenever we are designing a tie-up with any of the MFIs. Thank you.
Great. I think a few points already came in bits and pieces also, right? So one, at the low ticket size. And then second, of course, sir, this whole legal compliance side of things. So I think somewhere we also, like in the audits, end up writing queries like saying security is not good enough. I think that fear also was visible on the HFC side, sir. Like how we treat a 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakh loan. The security of a 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh loan cannot be the same way we treat a 1 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh loan ka security. So I think that is something which we should also, okay, we should not be opening up everything overnight, but then maybe subtly, like we should start looking at it differently, the way we treat the underlying security for a very small value loan and then a higher value loan in line with how we achieve balance between prudence and how we are able to open up the market with the current realities out there. So that is something which came out. The other thing is about the way the partnerships are structured, right? There has to be some frank conversations both sides. There is no right or wrong. Some of them may decide to do it in the home state. Some of them may deliberately want to do it in the other state so that there is no cannibalization of customers as well. So we have left it that also between the two institutions. Loan quantums, tenures, either it's only sourcing partnership or it's FLDG or if it's going to be co-lending also is flexible. All we need to do is like say like this is what we want to play with. There are partners in the room who are for all other options as well. We should definitely be in a position to figure it out by today. So if we can, yes, Mr. Mehta. Sure.
I think this is one hell of an initiative, and that's been required for a very long time. And I want to compliment both Sa-Dhan and NHB for that. I think one mindset we'll have to change is stop talking lakhs and talk thousands. 100,000, a lakh of rupees being a starting point, with the definition of not necessarily building even a house the way conventionally we funded, but like you said, a repair, extension of a toilet, a roof, a kacha to pakka house, or whatever. I think that's one. The second point is we can find operationally lots and lots of issues that need to be addressed. But I think there's one reason why it should be done, and because it's a great idea, and that's where the microfinance industry and the housing finance industry have this tremendous opportunity to work together. There will be issues, but everybody is going to be watching this. So we have to be sure that we do it right, because if we do it wrong, it's worse than not having done it. So I think that's something we have to be careful of, because it's going to set the trend for the next 5, 10, 15 years of how this partnership can potentially work.
So I can give one analogy. In fact, if you see the SLG or JLG, see the bank started lending to them without any collaterals, only because of the group mechanism, the peer group pressure, the kind of the joint liability arrangement, whatever it is. So it was not on the basis of the real security, but it was more of a social security. Similarly, here a partnership between an HFC and MFI comes into place. MFI can bring into place that kind of a security, because they already know the customer for the, as Sanjay Saab said, if somebody has taken some 3 or 4 or 5 cycles of loan and performed well and are still doing well, then if they can bring such kind of people, so that is something which HFC should be looking at and should be satisfied with.
Yeah, so exactly, that's where we actually started off this whole conversation also. What we are focusing is on the core competency of each of the class of the institutions. The microfinance institution knows the client segment, the geographies, tier 3, tier 4 onwards. They have the field presence in those markets, and they have the efficiency in terms of the front end client handling side of things. HFCs have the product understanding, their ability to bring in the kind of funds which can do those kinds of loans, 5, 7, 10-year kinds of loans. They have the overall understanding of the housing finance landscape. More importantly, like how Mr. Karthik was mentioning, they know what to do and what not to do. So they are very clear. So we have this segment. And we have seen the National Housing for All program, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, for the past 10 years. It's extended for the next 5 years. We are looking at 3 crore housing, 1 crore in urban and 2 crore in Gramin. 1 crore of urban, 70% will be beneficiary-led construction. So about 2.5, 3 crore housing of self-built incremental housing to happen in the next 5 years, supported by Government of India and the respective state governments. And we know PMAY is a smaller subset of the larger segment which we are talking about. So if we are looking at 3 crore houses in the next 5 years, we are looking at least 15 crore such housing to happen. Now, if we don't fund, those houses are still happening. Government has already completed more than 3.5 crore houses. It has been beneficiary contribution has happened. Just to give some perspective, PMAY urban, Government of India contribution 2 lakh crore spent. State government contribution 1.5 lakh crore. Beneficiary contribution 4 lakh crore. Where did that 4 lakh crore come from? It's come from these formal markets, either as housing loans, which except CLSS we have not captured, whether we have done those PMAY beneficiaries or not, because there was no mechanism as such. Going forward, the subsidy is remaining the same. Another 5 years, 3 crore houses, even at 3 lakhs beneficiary contribution per family, we are talking about 15 lakh crores to come for this segment. We have either done a gold loan, which went as a house, which ended up going for a housing loan. We ended up doing a microfinance loan, which went into house construction. We have done clean loan, personal loan, MSME loan, whatever. This has all come into this segment, and we should not be surprised when our mortgage to GDP is only 10%. It will be this low because we are not counting those which is actually going into housing, right? Like especially look at the MFI criteria after 2022 relaxation by RBI. It's no longer that income generating is no longer there. So today technically an MFI can do a housing loan without taking security under qualifying assets. Now without security, if they take security, it is becoming non-qualifying. You can see the disconnect in the criteria now. So if a family earning 25,000 per month, which is less than 3 lakhs per annum, 50% obligation, which is 12,500, someone can actually do a 10 lakh loan unsecured as qualifying asset. Though there are guardrails which will prevent them from doing it. But if they take security, it's not a qualifying asset. So we have a segment which is already proven, which needs this kind of funding, which in some sense the regulatory process allows, but then we are not able to add sufficient checks and balances to make it more robust, which is what we are actually trying to discuss here today. Right? So we are comfortable doing what we are currently doing. We are doing balance transfer, we are doing LAP, we are doing MSME, but then we just don't want to call it that home loan 1 lakh to 5 lakhs or whatever. So we are basically in the process of opening up a new segment. Not easy. There are other challenges as well. There are more regulations, as Sir is mentioning, like they're putting in dedicated funds. The first effort is this 500 crores for rural housing fund. There will be more. We have AHF already there, about 45,000 crores plus. So there is like quite a lot of dedicated money coming in. So the larger idea is Bharat build, self-built, first house, self-built incremental housing, self-occupied, on their own piece of land where they have been living for almost ever their entire life, their first and only big ticket asset. How are we going to use this opportunity to expand in a very prudent manner? So that is the whole idea. Any specific questions, like any specific points which are going to, which is preventing you from actually getting into this collaboration? When Sir is here, we can get it cleared. That is why the whole urgency.
जो लोग नए हैं उनको भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलनी चाहिए because they have a different type of mechanism, technology and other things they can do better.
So if you are exposing yourself person who is having income, his credit worthiness is there, he can, even with a CIBIL score -1, due to credit, he can take loan from anybody. Not that here we are trying to help a segment which is not being catered currently, given their household income or, you know, the job or the business they are in. And they have been supported by MFI 3 to 4 terms. So that's a different initiative altogether.
So one question I had was more futuristic. So if we see this pilot growing in the way we think it will grow, will NHB be open to HFC licenses in the future?
The license is not required. So today currently you have some benefit out of it, which is the funding from NHB. Yes, we can include MFIs and NBFC also in the list of eligible institutions by amending our act. So that can be done. Security creation can be done. So in case if you don't have property paper, and if it is in Gram Panchayat area, it is not agricultural land, you can create English mortgage. You can take Patwari, you know, Patta from the Gram Panchayat, and you can create. Security can be created. See, today housing finance companies are lending. So, see, today housing finance companies are lending in Indore. I have seen myself on a power of attorney sale. What is that power of attorney sale? That is not perfect security. But still, but there they have the comfort of the customer. So here the comfort you are bringing in by repeat, you know, lending. So that can be done. Lal Dora here, so many properties were sold in Delhi. They all had defective title. All those were sold and bought.
But you see, around 70%, 60 to 70% of microfinance is
Can we get the mic?
Yeah.
Where is the mic?
So, for example, I give my institution's example. We are almost 28-year-old microfinance institution based out of Varanasi, UP, and our 90% finance, microfinance, is in rural areas. So we are purely a rural program, microfinance program. Okay? We had reached to a 1.5 million borrower base, and since we are 28-year-old program, almost 20% to 25% of them have a credit track record of more than 5-10 years. We have changed their housing, graduating over the years. Okay, and we also know that around 15% of our total microfinance lending goes into housing or gets invested into housing, because when we go for our loan utilization checks, we discover that some borrowers have used them for housing improvement, construction of one room, additional room, as you were mentioning. The issue again in rural India is, okay, the title deeds. Okay, some of the borrowers, in fact, we were checking some of the borrowers who are our old borrowers, may have been purchasing lands, constructing houses, okay, but there are many who have their ancestral houses. Ownership of Abadi land, okay, there is, government is still, actually has come up with a program, okay, for, because there is no government records in connection with the Abadi lands, so where the people live. Agricultural lands, okay, there is Khasra, Khatoni as we call in UP and Bihar, but for Abadi lands, there are still issues. So how to create mortgages, okay, in respect of those borrowers who have extremely good repayment track record for many years, okay, they are constructing their houses, but they are actually dependent on microfinance loans for construction of their houses or improvement in their houses. That's the big, but I think what you mentioned in your remark was, and in your speech, about FLDG or other mechanism, co-lending. So, and Gigi also mentioned about taking MFIs, okay, so as a kind of a comfort provider or some kind of a, having a skin in the game in the form of some kind of guarantee. Do we call it FLDG or something else? So that is extremely important. For example, in our institution, we are determined that we will go ahead with housing loan of our own because we have been lending to them. Only change is, and despite all this crisis in unsecured loan, our 30 plus days default rate is still less than 1.5%. Okay, and again, our interest rates are just 17.5%. So for unsecured loan, for us it is nothing but just extending the tenor. Okay, from 2 year or 3 year to 4 year or 5 year, and then as we were mentioning, 1 lakh rupee loan. Okay, so extending the loan sizes from 1 lakh to 2 lakh kind of. We have more than 2 lakh clients who have got loan to the tune of loan ticket size of 1 lakh rupees, and the on-time repayment rate is above 99%. So how to actually create this synergy between MFI and housing finance company and come up with a good product which is suitable to MFI clients. This is what we have been discussing.
Basically, in such cases, there is a certificate, there is electricity collection that proves that the person is staying there for so many years. And Patwari, you can take a chitti that he is staying there. So we'll have to come up with it and have a registered mortgage. So your title is also perfect. Though there is no title paper, but your mortgage is perfect. It is not a defective mortgage. So there are mechanisms which can be worked out around fees. It's not impossible. It is possible. But then we'll have to not open a 5 lakh, 10 lakh kind of loan. We have to start with 1 lakh, run the pilot. In fact, I'll just tell you how credit cards started because I have been in a foreign bank for 9 years. When the credit card started, the first credit card issuer way back in 1902. So he went, there was a local bazaar. So he issued a piece of paper. I said, take this, you will get a credit of $100 in those days. Come back and return to me. First day he issued 100 papers. And he said, return to this $100 or whatever number was there after 1 month. You won't believe, out of 100 only 20 people came. The rest 80 just kept it. Then he increased the limit of these 20 people to next. And out of these 20, only 10 came out, from 17 came. I don't recall the number because this was told to me long back. So then they worked on those 17, 18 people, and that is how the model for credit lending the lending or credit card limit was fixed. So similarly, we also have to, if you want to get an answer, today we are more digitized, we have access to data, we have access to all the information. So this time lag can be reduced. There it took about close to two years to decide the fixing credit limit of a credit card customer. Today these customers are tested customers who start with 1 lakh, graduate to them to 2 lakh after 1 year. And I'm sure after 5 years we all will, when we meet, then it will be a normal credit program. But somebody will have to take the first step.
Sir, yeah, go ahead, sir. Finish, sir. Finish.
So, if we keep discussing and and we want to operate within the set boundaries, it won't work. I'm not asking you to change it and go for a unsecured lending. See, the amount we are talking today is the CSR budget of the housing finance company. So let's try it for 100, 500 customers. Let's see which kind of customers are paying back, which are the customer which will be the target customer. So this is the investment which we are making today in exploring the set of customers.
There are 2-3 ways to look at it, sir. You would have done all those loans unsecured, right? Like whatever housing you've done is all unsecured. So you are prepared to give them that money without security also as we speak. So the first step can be take whatever is there. Now, currently in qualifying asset, that is also strict interpretation, not possible. Because it's not possible, you are not taking whatever is there. That is one way to look at it. There are others who do gift to spouse. Many states have reduced stamp duty also on that to almost nothing. the gift to spouse is an option for some places. It may not be applicable in all places. So the husband will basically say, like, this was my grandfather's property, it came to my father.
That's not a problem because borrowers, women and spouses are co-borrowers.
Yes. So no, create a document.
There is no property. Like I tell you in UP, in fact now UP had kept that limit of 5,000 rupees on your deed. Because it's that everything. So because there is no property paper, the father says this is my inherited property because in the land record his grandfather's name was there. So he just gifted to daughter or son whosoever wants to take the loan.
That's not.
So that is another way to do it, right? Like, and again, another point not to be quoted outside this room. I was also trying to be subtle and politically correct and all. Like, we also know, even if some of these properties, if you have clear title, trace for 15 years, 20 years, these kinds of properties like middle of rural place, even if you have proper title, you cannot do much beyond the point. Like, what it does is skin in the game for the borrower. So if the borrower's document is with the lending institution, they cannot mortgage the property elsewhere. They will have to at least come back to you to take it because their equity is there in the property, and that is what will make them pay back. So we have to slightly look at things out of the box. Like currently we are still looking at this whole 15 years, 20 years search. We are currently looking at security in the same way we would have otherwise done a 10 lakh, 20 lakh loan. So, and we are not saying anything outside normal. Like as sir said, we are happy to do this in Jaipur. We are happy to do this in Lal Dora in cities. But when it comes to this segment, we are somehow reluctant, right? Like, so it's all happening, but it's not happening. There is no credit problem because you are giving the loan unsecured to the same customer and you are reluctant to take the paper.
Actually, it is more from the housing finance company side. For example, I mentioned many of MFIs, we have been giving a secured housing loan. We are not calling it housing loan, but it is a secured.
I think one of the ways to kind of address this is you look at, I mean, for housing finance companies to get comfortable with this segment. There is an opportunity to kind of do a wholesale lending, and then, I mean, Annapurna has already proved this, right? Securitization could be a very interesting product to kind of start, where at some point, you know, you will have an inflection of comfort, and then kind of it becomes a very different ballgame even for them.
In that case, only the big companies can do that because they require initial fund. Securitization cannot be done on 5 crore, 10 crore branch. You need 50 crore, 100 crore. How many MFIs will have 100 crores to spare? And then you have to meet the PPC criteria also. Because if that company is having 200 crore balance sheet or 300 crore balance sheet and has 100 crore securitization.
That's where kind of pooling of assets. I mean, yeah, I mean, there would be models that needs to kind of develop.
Co-lending model would be the best, you know.
FLDG model.
FLDG model
is also a good model.
That you address today, so we will discuss that today because that is the only two models which can be looked at.
We welcome Shri Gaya Prasad ji, Deputy Director General, Rural Housing, Head of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Gramin. Sir, please. नहीं सर आप अपना एड्रेस दे दीजिए सीधा थैंक यू
मैं एड्रेस देने नहीं आया हूँ मैं माफ़ी मांगने आया हूँ
नहीं सर इट्स ओवर टू यू सर
नहीं थैंक यू वेरी मच रियली आई एम वेरी सॉरी मुझे सुबह में होना चाहिए था बट कभी कभी क्या होता है ना कि आपके हाथों में बहुत कुछ नहीं होता तो उसके लिए बट वन थिंग आई एम वेरी एक्चुअली बिकॉज दिस इज़ द एरिया वेयर PMAYG इज स्ट्रगलिंग and searching for the option and opportunities to go for provide some financial support to the PMAYG scheme. That is why I am here, but I am really sorry CMD sir आपसे भी मैं विशेष रूप से आप सवेरे से बैठे हुए हैं मेरी टीम यहाँ थी बट वो हुआ क्या तो बस I would like to only because we are basically user. I am here representing on behalf of the PMAYG beneficiaries, and they are the backbone for the PMAYG scheme, and also for you to provide some support. In the last workshop where we discussed in detail about the different options that we are exploring for providing some because you know PMAYG is, I am very fortunate that I am associated with this scheme last 7-8 years. We have almost achieved many, जो इसको कहते हैं ना, काफ़ी पंख हमने उसमें लगाए हैं, लेकिन एक पंख जिसकी अब सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है इस स्कीम को कि अच्छे से उड़े, वो है इसकी यूनिट कास्ट. And that unit cost is 120,000 or 130,000 is not going to really support to the PMAYG beneficiaries. That is why we are requesting these states. We are also going to meet all these states again on 14th and 15th in Sushma Swaraj Bhavan, where we will discuss in detail what are the different options that we have explored so far, and will share those ideas and thoughts to the different states to go for exploring the one option. CMD sir is here. PMAYU is getting a lot of support from NHB and other the dignitary, the institution present in this hall. We are also, I would like to request on behalf of the Ministry of Rural Development to please provide similar support to the PMAYG. We are ready to issue any advisory, any guideline. When CMD sir in the Goa workshop, he gave this idea that he will have some 250 crore, or if I remember correctly, some 500 crore funds available to the MFI and the NBFCs. So that is another area. We are also we have requested many states, like Maharashtra is the recent one. The state cabinet has decided to provide additional 50,000 rupees from the state resources for construction of the not only houses, also to go far, because now new area of convergence is the solar rooftop. So they have decided that this 15,000 out of 50,000 will be given to the beneficiaries to meet the cost of the जो beneficiaries contribution है in installation of the solar rooftop. We have also explored the ministry when we are approaching to our cabinet in next year by end of December of this current financial year. We are also going to request the central government also to enhance the unit cost based on some scientifically designed any index or any parameter, because we have analyzed कि कितनी कास्ट किस सेक्टर में बढ़ी है. तो ये 1,20,000 किसी भी रूप से नहीं है, you all know. But the problem is that I know, because when we discussed in Goa workshop also, that NCGTC, they have developed some loan product for the PMAYG beneficiary, वो भी नहीं हो पाया. तो अब एक ही होप है आप पे और CMD NHB पर कि ले करके हम लोग इसको किसी रूप में इसको अच्छा सा करें. मैं इतनी ही बात करूंगा, मैं आपसे ज़्यादा डिस्कस नहीं करूंगा, बिकॉज PMAYG, इफ़ यू वांट एनी डिटेल्स फ्रॉम द मिनिस्ट्री साइड दैट व्हाट इज़ द स्टेटस ऑफ द बेनिफिशरी, कौन बेनिफिशरी है, व्हाट इज़ देयर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटस, व्हाट इज़ देयर इनकम, everything is available in our MIS system. So we have only, जिसको कहते हैं ना, source of truth, that is the MIS of the scheme. We are releasing fund directly to the Aadhaar payment bridge into account of the beneficiaries. So all these you all know. We have everything in our mobile app or in the MIS. So if you suppose decide that you are going to provide some loan to this पंचायत beneficiaries या किस ब्लॉक के, किस डिस्ट्रिक्ट के, किस पंचायत में आप जाएंगे, तो all those details are available. The problem is the availability of the documents. कि उसके पास अगर आप कहें कि उसको आप घर की का कोई पेपर दे दीजिए, तो स्वामित्व इज अनदर स्कीम दैट मिनिस्ट्री इज एक्सप्लोरिंग, बट अभी बहुत इन्फेंट स्टेज में है. वी हैव आल्सो डन सम एनालिसिस कि ये कैसे होगा. तो वो टाइटल, लैंड टाइटल या प्रॉपर्टी की का केस है, उसमें अगर कुछ सपोर्ट, क्योंकि ये एक है, उनकी रिपेइंग कैपेसिटी इज आल्सो नॉट सो गुड कि मैं ये बोलूँ कि उनका सिविल स्कोर बड़ा अच्छा होगा या उनका और स्कोर बड़ा अच्छा होगा. एंड तो दीज आर द एरिया, बट that is why NHB support, ministry support, your support and state support, if we sit together and decide कि हमको ये करना है, तो then actually we will be in a position to give some support to the beneficiaries, and that is the need. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं कोई इसलिए यहाँ भाग के आया हूँ कि मुझे आना था, मैं इसलिए आया हूँ क्योंकि मुझे अपने सारे बेनिफिशरी की, अगर मैं थोड़ा हिंदी का शब्द यूज करूँ तो वेदना है उसमें, उनके दर्द हैं, उनकी महसूस है, उसकी ज़रूरत है। इसलिए हम ये चाहेंगे, मैं आई विल कंक्लूड हियर विद द रिक्वेस्ट दैट लेट अस, दिस इज़ द टाइम, please, we are, so far as ministry is concerned, I have already got the full support from my secretary and minister, and they are, suppose if we decide कि ये करना है, तो they will fully support us. तो I will conclude here. Again, I am very extremely sorry कि मैं बहुत लेट आया और बहुत इससे आया। मैं मणिकंदन जी, साहिबल साहब बैठे हैं, मैं सबसे माफ़ी मांगते हुए अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूँ। इसलिए समाप्त करता नहीं, देखिए ये मैं जैसे मैं सोचता हूँ कि मुझे लेट आने का कहीं पे कोई हक नहीं है। यदि मैंने समय दिया था तो मुझे समय से आना चाहिए था, इसीलिए मैंने आपको अराउंड 7:30 या 8 पे मैंने रिक्वेस्ट भी किया था। लेकिन कभी कभी क्या होता है, वो अपने हाथ में नहीं होता, और ये सरकार की मजबूरी कह लीजिए या लग्जरी कह लीजिए, मैं उसे मजबूरी समझता हूँ। दैट इज़ वाई मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूँ। बट डेफिनेटली अब समय है, क्योंकि लास्ट 2 ईयर से आई एम मतलब मैं इवन प्रायर टू ज्वाइनिंग ऑफ CMD शुक्ला सर एंड अदर ऑप्शंस वी हैव डिस्कस्ड मैनी टाइम्स, बट अभी तक कुछ आया नहीं। मैं साधन एंड NHB एंड मणिकंदन के और आपस के मिल के आई एम वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट दैट डेफिनेटली इन दिस करेंट फाइनेंशियल ईयर वी विल बी एबल टू give some benefit to the PMAYG beneficiary. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much. कर दीजिए सर, एकदम कर दीजिए। हाँ
अच्छा, ये टाइप अब okay, so like you have 1 crore houses, like all these list is there available with the ministry. जैसे ड्यू बिकॉज सर इस कमरे में जो लोग बैठे हैं उनके अगर लाइव नंबर ऑफ अकाउंट्स देखे जाएं तो करीब 1 करोड़ के आसपास होंगे, ज़्यादा ही होंगे। तो वो जो लिस्ट आपकी है वो 1 करोड़ से अगर ड्यू 2 करोड़ 3 करोड़ जो भी है ड्यू करते हैं, हमको मिलते हैं हमारे 100 कस्टमर उसमें है, 10,000 ओवरलैप है, तो वो तो लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट है, वो हमसे पैसा लेके वापस कर चुके हैं, उनको देने में कोई आपको रिस्क नहीं है। तो उनको आप 50-50 हज़ार दे दोगे और यहाँ से मिल गया तो आपको एक पोर्टफोलियो बनता है। दूसरी चीज, सारे के सारे तो डिफेक्टिव टाइटल से होंगे नहीं सर, काफी सारे टाइटल भी आपको मिलेंगे, उसमें आप थोड़ा 1 लाख तक कर लीजिए भाई, मिनिस्ट्री से लिस्ट ऑफ बेनिफिशियरी लीजिए, अपना जो सारी कंपनियों को दे दीजिए कि भाई हमारी ये ड्यू पूरा डेटा मत दीजिए, एक साधन आप लीड इंस्टीट्यूशन हो, इनके वो SRO हो, आप अपने पास डेटा रखिए, इन सबसे ड्यू मंगा लीजिए इनके कस्टमर का लिस्ट, उसमें कर लीजिए। पता चला पहल के पास 5,000 निकले तो पहल को 5,000 दे दो, they have taken loan from पहल earlier and we have repaid, so you give it to them। 5,000 लोग आपके 5,000 में 3,000 लेंगे, 3,000 लोन मेरे हो जाते हैं, तो वो this can be done।
नहीं, डीडुप्लीकेशन के लिए भी है मैनी प्राइमरी कीज, आप चाहें आधार से डीडुप्लीकेट कर लें,
इनके पास सर इनके कस्टमर,
हाँ कस्टमर हैं, वो डिटेल्स भी बेनिफिशरीज के आप बोलेंगे वो हम दे देंगे। कस्टमर ID भी है हमारे, PMAYG ID है, आधार है, बैंक अकाउंट नंबर है, मोबाइल नंबर है, ये सारे हैं। आधार से कर नहीं, किसी भी अगर PMAYG के बेनिफिशरी को आप कोई लोन दिए होंगे तो उसका एक ID होता है, एंड PMAYG ID इज यूनिक, वो जो किसी भी स्टेट का ले लीजिए, तो वो सारे ऑल दीज डिटेल्स दैट वी हैव इन आवर सिस्टम।
तो 1 करोड़ में कम से कम मेरे को 5 लाख भी मिल गए, तो मेरे 5 लाख तो लोन होते हैं ना।
नहीं वैसे ये सही है,
नहीं सपोर्ट कर पाएंगे तो हम 5
हाँ
लाख तो कर सकते हैं ना।
नहीं ये कट ऑफ डेट आपकी 1 अक्टूबर बहुत सही है, 2 अक्टूबर को आप एकदम शुरू कर दीजिए, किसी भी स्टेट से शुरू कर दीजिए, किसी भी ब्लॉक से शुरू कर दीजिए, एनी स्टेट, एनी UT, एनी। बट आई रिक्वेस्ट यू, अगर आप 10 स्टेट्स पे फोकस करेंगे तो दैट वुड बी मच बेटर, बिकॉज in most of the other states we have already almost completed the houses, and these states are Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, then Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jharkhand. These are the states where good number of houses, around 1 crore 17 lakh houses are under construction. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग जो है वो we can discuss and decide, and these are the willing states also. अगर आप PMAYG का देखेंगे concentration of beneficiaries, तो more than 90% इन्हीं states में. बट मैं आपको एक चीज़ और बता देता हूँ जो मतलब सरकार में लोग कहते नहीं हैं, फिर भी मैं कहता रहता हूँ, क्योंकि सच अगर हम जानेंगे नहीं तो सच को कहना भी बड़ा ज़रूरी है. अभी मैं आपको बताऊँ, नाउ एक ऐसा स्टेज आ गया है कि मेनी स्टेट्स वो हमसे कहने लगे हैं बाबा अपने पास रखो अपनी PMAYG, अब इसमें मुझसे घर नहीं बनता. तो ये मैं आपको, अगर हम उनको अगले 1 साल में कोई अच्छा सोल्यूशन नहीं दिए या यूनिट कास्ट नहीं उठाए, तो ये दिस फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट विल लीड टू मतलब डिसकंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ द PMAYG इन सम पार्ट्स ऑफ द कंट्री. चाहे वो ब्लॉक हो सकता है, चाहे वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट होता है. मैं कहना नहीं चाहिए मुझे, रिकॉर्ड करके हटा दीजिएगा, फिर भी मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ, इसलिए कह रहा हूँ कि दिस इज़ द ट्रुथ, एंड दैट इज़ वाई हमारी पूरी टीम एंड आई एम हियर कि हमको ये देना है, कुछ ना कुछ इनको ज़रूर देना है. चाहे आप 1 स्टेट में चलिए, 2 में चलिए, 3 में चलिए, एंड एनी काइंड ऑफ रिटर्न सपोर्ट और एनी एडवाइजरी और एनीथिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड, मिनिस्ट्री इज रेडी. I assure you on behalf of the ministry that we will issue and we will be with you also कि इसको कैसे करना है. तो with this I conclude here and thank you very much.
सर 1 मिनट सर.
नहीं वो सब समय खत्म हो गया सर. मेरा स्वागत होगा जो होना था वो तो.
जी सर, एक मेमेंटो डीजी सर
मैं CMD साहब के साथ बैठता हूँ.
ओके.
अभी हमारा सर
एक छोटा सा
मेमेंटो सर.
खास कुछ नहीं है कि हमारा झारखंड का व्हाट इज इसका डोकरा
Thank you for that brief, sir. Thank you for coming also.
Thank you very much. No, I'm just. We'll go to the next phase. So I have told everyone that if you want to have tea, you can go outside and bring the tea inside because you are not getting time. Also, it's very nice event, very attractive event for this discussions are happening. A lot of things are coming up, and we intended to do this one. Thank you very much. Our next session is when Sa-Dhan does something. Sa-Dhan has a different arm. One of the major arm is policy advocacy. And for that reason, in wherever we do, whatever portfolio we do, we try to bring out the policy document on it. So it may be your this SHG, it may be your housing, it may be your water and sanitation. So all these things we do. In this case also, while having our partnership with Habitat for Humanity, one of the things we wanted to do that to bring out a policy note. And this is the right forum to present that policy and get your inputs on it to make it structured, stronger, and put it forward to the regulator. So I would like to invite Habitat for Humanity for that one. So Mani will do it.
Thank you all. Thank you Sa-Dhan, thank you National Housing Bank for giving us this opportunity. As you have realized, like this is not a one-off exercise. There are other things also happening in the background. We also understand that there are real systemic challenges which needs to be resolved. Some of it are on the policy level, some in non-policy. So we have kind of done quite a lot of interactions, several interviews, couple of prior events as well, one in Chennai and one in Delhi, to take inputs, and we continue to take inputs on this. So the larger idea is to basically deepen access to micro housing finance for low income households. So it's a very clear objective that we are trying to achieve, and we can clearly understand that this is a key component if we need to make housing accessible to the low income segment. So we are looking at provision of adequate housing at scale, like millions in low income housing, by increasing financial inclusion through provision of micro housing finance on a nationwide scale by diversifying the financial economy at the base of the pyramid. So we are looking at like real large segment here. Just to give you a sense, and we are talking only PMAY numbers. Beyond this, we don't have numbers yet, right? And we are presenting here only PMAY numbers, only self-built construction. So in PMAY urban, they call it beneficiary-led construction, one of the verticals. Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4 towns, people having a piece of land, getting their house built, 22.5 lakh houses sanctioned and yet to be completed. In the next phase, out of 1 crore, the assumption is 70 lakhs will be this category. So in the urban, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 2 towns, 92 lakh houses. On PMAY Grameen, about 1 crore to be completed, and another 1.25 crores at various stages to be sanctioned. So another 2.5 crores on that side. So we are looking at what? 3 crore plus PMAY houses, self-built incremental houses alone. And these are like data with a beneficiary, with a phone number, with an Aadhaar number, sitting in 2 computers in Delhi. Like, there are like real beneficiaries out there who are wanting housing loans. Let us look at the gap. Urban housing, 2.5 lakhs is the subsidy. 300 square feet, you can take anywhere 300 square feet. Urban, nothing less than 4.5 lakhs. Right, like 1,500 per square feet itself will cost 4.5 lakhs. 2,000 is going to cost about 6 lakhs. At 300 to 500, we are looking at 4.5 lakhs to 10 lakhs cost of housing, cost to customer, of which subsidy, Government of India plus state government put together is only 2.5 lakhs. So the balance needs to come from beneficiary share. On the Grameen side, it's 1.2 lakhs, 1.3 lakhs plus Manrega plus Swachh Bharat is about 1.5 lakhs. Some states give additional, which is about 2 lakhs. So another 2 to 3 lakhs beneficiary contribution there as well. So we are looking at a conservative 3 crore houses, even at 1 lakh per house, 3 lakh crore. At 1 lakh per house, and on the higher end, we are looking at a higher requirement because Grameen sometimes ends up building bigger houses. 300 does not work in a rural area. 500, 600 square feet requires that much more money. So this is an opportunity of 10 lakh, 15 lakh crore only in PMAYG and PMAY. And then look at beyond PMAY. Like PMAY will not even be 20% of market. So we are looking at this kind of money which needs to go into this segment. If we are able to crack this, we are really talking like big numbers. However, in this room we can discuss these. We put them in a pyramid. At the high end are basically the EWS people who are able to manage some financing, savings, friends and relatives, or some kind of formal financing. That's the first category which is solved. The second category, that is what we are talking about here. Beneficiaries who have financial capacity. They have the capacity to repay. They may not necessarily have the documented evidence either on the income or on the title side. So we are not talking bad credit here. We are not talking subprime here. There is a large section out there who can repay loans, who have the ability, may not have documented proof of income or may not have security documentation good enough for formal segment. Of course, there is the third segment as well, which is the government's challenge. Probably we may not solve it in this room. The ones who cannot repay, okay? We are not talking about them. We are clearly not talking about people who cannot repay. We are only talking about people who can repay, who are kept out of this formal market. So the challenges which we have bucketed into 3 segments. First is the origination. We have discussed enough. We need the products. We need to get the pricing right. Now pricing, we have said enough that making it available is the challenge, pricing is the secondary problem. Quantity is the first challenge, quality of the loan is the second one. How do we arrive at the midpoint where it is financially viable for the lending institution while it is also convenient for the end user customer? So there are challenges which are there on the product side, on the price side. Second is the intermediation. Like how can the lender reach the borrower or the potential borrower, which is why we are doing whatever we are doing here. How do we get the interface happen where lending institutions are involved in micro housing finance? How can we make it operations less costly and risky, which is what is the gap, right? So how do we reduce the cost of capital, operating expenses, taxes and subsidies, and cost of risk? What can go towards reducing each component of this cost is what we have tried to analyze and present so that any small delta can eventually reduce cost to customer at the end. Then enabling a set of institutions to collaborate and bring participation and inclusion. Third is around the facilitation and enabling environment. So where we are trying to see the balance between financial prudence and financial inclusion, right? While on one side we say, de do, it's not going to happen, it should not happen also for the benefit of the sector. But how do we bring in more inclusion? How do we bring in more partnerships? And that is what we are trying to see. So I've listed, there are about 60, 70 recommendations. I'm not going to bore you with that. We have just given you an indicative list of 5, just to give you a flavor of what all we are trying to. First is bringing undivided focus on housing loans between 1 and 10 lakhs. We spoke affordable housing. We spoke different names, acronyms for that. But we are here talking only about housing finance for EWS. In fact, we are struggling for data on this as well. Because if we take the data of loans below 5 lakhs, it does not talk about the income of the borrower. A public sector bank giving a 3 lakh home improvement loan to a MIG, HIG customer is also shown as housing loan below 5 lakhs. So we are not able to understand how many of those sub 5 lakh loans have actually gone to economically weaker section population for their first house. So that is the level of struggle. So how do we bring in the focus on this segment? How do we say treat loans below 3 lakhs in rural differently? Let us treat loans below 6 lakhs in urban differently. Because why it will have impact? It has impact on spread. For example, NCGTC now on CRGF has said on lending cap is 7%, repo plus 7%. Repo is 7.5, 5.5 plus 7, 6 now. Okay, 6 plus 7 is 13%. We cannot do a loan of 2%, 2 lakhs at 13%, which means we are currently straight away out of CRGF purview. We cannot even consider a guarantee from that because of the spread gap. Concessions. So concessions are now made, for example, say PSL or affordable housing definition, 50 lakhs. PSL, 25 lakhs, 35 lakhs. How do we bring that to 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs? Doing 130 lakh loan is also PSL. Doing 10 loans of 3 lakhs is also PSL. What will a lender do? Lender will do 30 lakhs one loan because the benefit is the same. Doing 10 loans of 3 lakhs is that much more difficult. So how do we bring in concessions for this segment? How do we look at norms differently? Like we discussed security. Can we relax security for a 20 lakh, 30 lakh loan? No, we are not saying that. But can we look at security of a 2 lakh, 3 lakh loan differently? So we are trying to make some recommendations around that. Can we bring in savings linked products for low income first time borrowers? Like, can there be like progressive saving and then it can become a product or something? So these are some of the ideas which have been around, but then can there be like implementation of that? Interest subsidy scheme, the current name ISS, right, is on urban side. Why is it there only on the urban side? Why not for all home loan borrowers, both urban and Grameen? Same rules, same criteria. If you are a first-time home borrower, home loan borrower, if you are not a beneficiary from other verticals of PMAY, you need to get subsidy in the same method. Because earlier when we had CLSS and RHISS, CLSS gave 2,67,000, whereas RHISS gave 38,000. Same customer, if they are on urban side, you get like 5 times more. Like, why the difference? And why the confusion? Because when that was the situation, people would log in as urban, they will say this name of the village is not there in urban list, so subsidy is rejected. And they never bothered to try rural because it's only 38,000. But it's the same borrower, why should they be denied? So can there be like one interest subsidy scheme for all first-time home loan customers? Suggestion. State-wise subcommittees. Housing is a state subject. Most of the issues, title issues, coordination issues, data issues, rules, NOCs are at state level. Now today what is happening is, states are going and talking about PMAY in the state level bankers committee. None of you are sitting there. No HFCs in SLBC, no MFIs in SLBC, and they are talking about housing loans, PMAY in SLBC meeting and saying like State Bank is not doing. Why is State Bank not in this room? They can't be doing this. This needs a specialized focus. So can there be state level subcommittees now that NHB also has regional offices in most of the major states? Can there be an SLNA, NHB level housing focused subcommittee at a state level? We don't have to invite all 200 lending institutions. Every state has only 15 or 20 active players in this segment. Can they be brought together? One of the suggestions to make it work and better in implementation. Which is something Sir also said, the next one. Can there be a dashboard where lenders can access beneficiary information, stage of construction information on an online basis? There are examples. PMAY Urban, Andhra Pradesh, IFL Housing Finance have that interface at an API level. They are able to see, they took the geotagging image of the PMAY Urban as their technical inspection to reduce cost and make it accessible. So can there be interface amongst lending institutions and government at that level, where when we talk about technology advancement, it's all possible and it's already happened. Why can't we make it universal? So these are some of the samples. We have much more. Organization-wise, to RBI, to the Government of India, to NHB, to MORD. So we have different categories, and to lending institutions as well. We will release this very soon. It's in advanced stage. So we thought we should give you a flavor of this. Thank you.
We have our MIS that is called आवास आप वो जो PPT है रिया उसको शेयर कर देना, ये लोग बाकी से शेयर कर लेंगे. मैंने PPT में मैं गया नहीं, मैंने कहा वो टाइम ओवर हो चुका है. But we have all these details available in our MIS system that is called आवास आप. And major information we have let long of कहाँ उसका पुराना घर है, कहाँ नया घर बनाएगा. We have that access. We have also this time captured कि वो कौन सी डिज़ाइन से घर बनाएगा. So that is also because we have given design that is suitable to the local area of that area. So design option we have given. We have captured photograph of the beneficiary along with the site. We have Aadhaar number. We have all these demographic details that Aadhaar is linked to which account. That is, we have bank account number. We have demographic details, and so all these informations are available in our MIS system. And उसमें कोई वो नहीं है. तो and we are deduplicating this with many data sets. जैसे आप मुझसे बोलें कि आप उनको कितने households are actually lifting their food grains. because now Aadhaar is available to be using the Aadhaar on government ki you may be aware that now even for social welfare schemes this Aadhaar number can be shared. अगर मुझसे कोई दूसरी मिनिस्ट्री मांगे तो because we have Aadhaar number, 100% Aadhaar number of all the beneficiaries, and for new set of data that the 2 crore more houses that we are going to construct in next 4 years. Without Aadhaar तो कुछ है ही नहीं. Aadhaar is now mandatory. If they don't have Aadhaar, they have to apply, and then they will upload कि we have applied for Aadhaar, and that data we are also sharing with the. एक और चीज़ आपको बताएं, in the country PMAYG, because we have now moved from simple survey to eKYC through face-based authentication. We are not capturing demographic details based on some interview or some question asking. We are only taking the photograph using the Aavas Plus 2024 mobile app, and that mobile app was developed by the NIC, and Honorable Prime Minister launched this mobile app, and this is the first exercise in the country where we have used eKYC face-based authentication for large scale survey. हमने 4.5 करोड़ से ज़्यादा लोगों के सर्वे किए हैं using. We are only capturing face of the beneficiaries, and this face we are sharing with the Aadhaar system. बाबा ये बता दीजिए कौन है ये चेहरे वाले, and then क्योंकि आधार में सबका फेस है, and then we are fetching all these demographic details from Aadhaar system, and also linkage of this Aadhaar to which bank account. तो all these मतलब जो है details IT, and you may be aware that Ministry of Rural Development में अक्सर कहता हूँ कि नाम इसका भले ग्रामीण विकास है, but we are champion in so far as use of IT solution is concerned in the मतलब central government, and PMAYG हम we are मतलब 5 on 5 score. तो IT solutions में we have all these details. किसी भी स्कीम से ले लीजिए, because we have very good team with PMAYG. तो all these details are available. आप कुछ कह रहे हैं?
सर ये इसका इंटरफेस ULI के साथ हो रहा है क्या? यूनिफाइड लैंडिंग इंटरफेस जो हो रहा है उसमें बिजनेस भी
अब API से अगर हम तो वैसे सबके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं, जो भी हमसे मांग रहा है, चाहे DFS के साथ ले लीजिए, जल जीवन मिशन के साथ ले लीजिए, बट ULI के साथ आई एम नॉट अवेयर कि वो क्या चीज़ वो कर रहे हैं. लेकिन मैं आपको एक और बता दूं, इन PMAYG नाउ वी आर मूविंग टू, यू माइट हैव हर्ड अबाउट द एग्री स्टैक, एक एग्रीकल्चर का जो नया डेटा हाँ मैं आ रहा हूँ. हम लोग जा रहे हैं अभी रूरल स्टैक पे. नाउ ये अभी देखिए ना, ईच स्कीम इन द मिनिस्ट्री हैज़ देयर MIS, एंड वो सब MIS अलग अलग बात कर रहे हैं. नाउ विल हैव वन स्टैक फॉर रूरल इंडिया. यस. दूसरा एक और चीज़ अभी मणिकंदन जी कह रहे थे ना कि सपोज इफ एनी बेनिफिशियरी वांट्स टू नो कि हम लोन के लिए कहाँ अप्रोच करें, तो दैट इंफॉर्मेशन वुड बी मेड अवेलेबल ऑन दी रूरल स्टैक, बट वो हम अपने PMAYG में भी कर सकते हैं एट इनिशियल स्टेज. थैंक यू.
So anybody has any observation on this policy document? Both of the sides, HFC side also and microfinance sector also.
Anything to be modified?
Yes, anything to be modified, added, something, because this is the space where we can discuss about this one and strengthen it. Anybody has any observation on it? I think it is good enough.
So you can reach out to us. We will leave our details. Like if you have something, inputs or clarifications, we have scope to add whatever specific input we would have covered. Yes, we just showed you 5. So there is scope. We are happy to.
Yeah, we can share to you. That's another way. Then you can send your responses.
Thank you all. So now I call Dr. Sehwal for his vote of thanks. Your observation?
Thank you very much. I think I do not have to sum up the things. We have discussed a lot of things and we understood a lot of things. One of the things really very heartening to get. Yes, so one of the things that what Sir has suggested, this your a core group and with a very specific time frame and also some ideas on the product, like it should be a specific product, reducing the tenure, maybe your 7 years or something, it may not be like 20 years what we do generally, then cost to the customers has to be minimized, lot of things, it should be CSR plus project, like testing the ground. What has happened, I am really proud to bring this thing in front of you. While our this Swachh Bharat mission was in full phase, it was like after 50% of the construction, you could get the money from the government. That 50% actually provided by microfinance institution. And it is really very heartening to see how government, this your fund and also microfinance sector has worked together. And it was a win-win game for all of us. Sir was Prasad sir also telling that one, that if we can identify those customers and help them to do, it would be very good. Like, let us have this one. From this your microfinance side also, we could understand that HFC should be little bit clearer in their proposal, and also like this underwriting process may be little bit at look after. Karthik was also suggesting about this wholesale lending securitization. We have discussed about it. And one of the very interesting thing what Gaya Prasad ji has told is this access to the data set, MIS. It will help us immensely to identify the right customer. And apart from that, we have learned a lot of things over here, and how can we make the core group? How do we suggest? Is it like representative of couple of MFIs and couple of your housing finance company, or all of the housing finance company, or all of the MFIs working over here?
Only make people who are ready to contribute, not just they will have to give 5 suggestions.
So now the floor is open for volunteering from both of the sides. Devendra, please come. Anybody? You need to volunteer. PNB, Awas, and anybody. Saman has already raised hand, and also Digambar. You're Digambar, right?
Sir, cash for can you also talk about? Would you like to collaborate with HFC and
See, 2 institutions I definitely would like to get onboarded who has already having some experiences on this one. One is Annapurna and Pahel, definitely.
You have some data that you can decide among yourself, who will be the person, and we can fix that core group, the responsibility, what they are supposed to do, and the target and the task.
We will do that one, sir. Sir to रहेंगे ही. No, sir, you have to be there. Somebody from HFC, anybody? Huh? India Shelter, okay. 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 हाँ जी सर.
कल लीजिए कि कब तक ये लोन प्रोडक्ट बेनिफिट की और हो जाए, अगर हम आइडेंटिफाई कर लें बाय
7.
प्रोडक्ट होगा,
डेली एंड तक तो प्रोडक्ट वगैरह
प्रोडक्ट तो मैं भी बना सकता हूँ, I have worked on it. I have worked on it very intensely.
So what we can do, sir, in a week time, if we can bring all these people together and have a discussion and product settle करते हैं in 1 week of time.
प्रोडक्ट फाइनल कर लीजिए, उसके बाद उसके सारी क्राइटेरिया एंड क्या एडवाइजरी होगा. इफ यू वांट देन विल इशू एन एडवाइजरी टू द स्टेट्स आल्सो फ्रॉम द मिनिस्ट्री साइड इंडिकेटिंग कि ये होगा. एंड इफ एवरीथिंग इज रेडी तो मैं अपने मंत्री जी से श्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान साहब से ये लोन प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करा के एंड देन विल हैव सम ये कर सकते हैं. NHB, Sa-Dhan and DMFIs and but before that we have to identify उस दिन on the day of the event 50,000 या 40,000 या इतने लोगों को लोन है.
उससे पहले आपको डेटा ले लेंगे, रिव्यू पे कर लेंगे.
सर डेटा तो हम आपको अगले हफ्ते दे दें, जिसमें लोगों को कहिए कल दे सकते. Even in Excel format we have block wise, district wise, state wise, everything single click one password. If you want they are ready to share.
ब्लॉक वाइज तो हमारे HFCs के लोन होंगे, तो also can be brought in. विलेज वाले में इनके होंगे, MFI में, तो उसमें से 5,000 10,000 लोगों को दे देंगे on the day of inauguration. तो करते हैं इसको.
So हमारा timeline ये है कि in 1 week of time we will bring these people together, core group together and discuss on the product, and in 15 days we will finalize the product.
Yeah.
ठीक.
31st we should have a product or circulation. We'll invite suggestion in 1 week. उसके बाद नहीं आता है तो we will launch. Meanwhile we will complete this exercise of deduplicating the list of 1 crore people. Then we can see किसके पास आपके पास कितने हैं, आपके पास कितने हैं. Because हम data अगर open कर देंगे सबको, तो that should not become a marketing. वो नहीं करना है. Because we don't have to abuse the data. That is why I am not in favor of giving the data openly. Otherwise, data आएगा मेरे पास आएगा, आप हम और आप इंटरफेस करके आप इनकी नंबर ऑफ कस्टमर थ्रू सम मैकेनिज्म, DDU मैकेनिज्म, इनके कस्टमर देख लीजिए कितने हैं, तो उसमें से वो कस्टमर हम आपको दे देंगे जो इसमें होंगे. फिर आप चेक करिए कि कभी उनको रिपीट लोन दिया गया है और ऐसी परफॉर्मेंस अगर है, then we will work out a scheme. In fact, सर थोड़ा सा एक काम हो सकता है, देखिए we are not looking at a very large number. जैसे अर्बन हाउसिंग ने एक गारंटी फंड सेटअप किया है, तो रूरल मिनिस्ट्री भी अगर 100 करोड़ 200 करोड़ से फंड सेटअप कर दो NHB मैनेज करने के लिए तैयार है, तो हम उस पर
ये सारी चीजें मैं आपको बड़ा ओपनली कह दूँ, ये सारी चीजें उसी तरफ ले जा रही हैं.
Can we get this one? सर अगर आप उसमें बोलिएगा तो अच्छा.
ये सारी चीजें उसी तरफ ले जा रही हैं जहाँ हम फेल हो चुके हैं.
नहीं
मैं आपको बहुत ओपनली कह दूं क्योंकि आपने बड़ा अच्छा सजेशन दिया है. वी हैड डिस्कस कि भाई अगर 60 करोड़ का गारंटी देंगे तो दिन वी विल बी एबल टू अराउंड प्रोवाइड 70,000 लोन टू 2 lakh beneficiaries, that is amounting around 1,400 crore. We had detailed discussion with Durgesh Pandey ji and DFS and the other also. After finalizing the loan product, कि ये loan product होगा, then we approach to, because for any new provision in the guide scheme, we have to take approval of the DOE, Department of Expenditure. When we approached, तो उन्होंने कहा भाई this will create unnecessary burden to the government, तो reject हो गया. मैं आपको बहुत openly कह रहा हूँ, we have that loan product. If you want, we'll share that loan product, वो readily available है हमारे पास. उसके क्या क्या था, because we discussed with SBI, PNB and Central Bank, वो सारे लोग भी थे member of the committee, and we developed after discussing, मतलब 5-6 month हमने लगाए थे उसमें, but ये फेल हो चुके. एक कभी RHIS का नाम ले रहे थे मणिकंदन जी, now RHIS is no more. पता नहीं आप जानते हैं कि नहीं जानते. RHIS, because in the last 7-8 years when this was approved in 2017, हमने लास्ट 7-8 years में खर्च कितना किया, अराउंड 20 करोड़, कुल 20 करोड़ का. वो NHB was the central nodal agency. तो when last time it was reviewed by the expenditure, then they decided कि बाबा इसको बंद करो. तो when we approached in year 2024 for extension of the scheme beyond March, तो RHIS को उन्होंने अप्रूवल ही नहीं दिया. तो मैं हाँ वो 2 लाख रुपीज़ देते थे एंड अपफ्रंट सब्सिडी वाज अराउंड 38,539, इस तरह से कुछ था जो अभी कह रहे थे. बट तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि अगर वी आर गोइंग टू डेवलप सम लोन प्रोडक्ट जो गवर्नमेंट के बाहर हो, गवर्नमेंट से एडवाइजरी मिलने तक इस तरह की, तो वो शायद कुछ होगा। अगर कुछ हम लोग कर सकें, सम सब्सिडाइज लोन, समथिंग फ्रॉम NHB साइड और समवेयर, तो दैट वुड बी ये होगा।
लोन कर देंगे, लेकिन बाद में नेक्स्ट फेज अगर ये आ जाएगा तो मैं चला दूँ, ये चल जाएगा सर।
ठीक है, अगर हम, मैं आपको बताऊं, अभी क्या है ना, nobody is going to listen us. अगर if you, I don't know ISS का क्या अभी क्या है, क्योंकि I was in that meeting जब एक्सपेंडिचर फाइनेंस कमेटी में डिस्कस हो रहा था, तो बट I don't know the success of the ISS or any। तो वो अच्छा है, बट रूरल में अगर जब तक हम कुछ करके नहीं दिखाएंगे, nobody is going to listen us। मैं बहुत साफ साफ कह रहा हूँ इस बात को। तो पहले we have to have some कि इसको हम करें
ऑन द
ग्राउंड की हमारा ये है, इसके साथ करेंगे, कुछ करके दिखाएंगे तो एवरीवन विल एक्सेप्ट कि कैसे।
So, thank you very much. So, nothing more from me, because we have already got what kind of things we need to do, and also a time frame, and also how to do it. So, this is from my side.
See, just all those people sitting here are ready to be part of this? Is there anybody has any? How many institutions are there here?
Seven HFC.
देवेंद्र कितना है? We had 7 HFCs.
7 HFCs we do have, and also like 7 MFIs. Yeah. So we wanted to make it very closed door and having an open discussion. So thank you very much from my side, and also I thank you for all of your participation and everything. And it was really very heartening to see that this is one of the things that we wanted to do, but we were not able to do because we do have fund crunch in our system. So we'll be happy to get some fund from different ministries and other and channel it to microfinance institution. We have seen that the rich people may not repay, but poor people always repay. That's our, and we trust them very much. I mean, we have seen our NPA, we have seen our everything. I mean, in regular time, I'm not talking about COVID time, I'm not talking about demand time, our PAR 30 was even less than 0.5%. So this is the sector we work with, this is the people we work with, this is the women we work with, they always repay. Only we need to trust them. Possibly we can open up that one. Having putting my deliberation end here, and I would request Mr. Maman if he wants to put formal closer.
Yeah, I just.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So I think we are ending this with my small thanks. I thank everyone for being here, especially Gaya Prasad ji. I know that you had a very busy day today. Some meeting was there. In spite of that, you came. That shows this kind of interest and commitment for this cause. Sanjay Shukla ji, I was telling that he is the person who entirely initiated the whole this concept and brought us all together. So thank you so much, and spending the entire time with us. That's so great of him. In the morning when I was speaking, I forgot to mention about the Habitat for Humanity Trivilgar Center and all, who had been part of this initiative for the last 2-3 years, I believe.
They have been partnered for a long time.
Long time, but we started this journey of bringing them at least 2 years now. So they were there, Manikantanji and Nupur and our entire team. Thank you so much for being part of this whole initiative, and hope that we will be able to take it to the logical end. And thank you so much all the HFC members who have come from different states in spite of a rainy time, Some of them came a bit late because of the rain and other traffic issues and all, but still in spite of that, all could make it here. Thank you MFI friends who have been from different places. Let's make it happen. Let's show that. See, as Sanjay ji said, even if you take it as a CSR initiative, setting aside 10 crore rupees or 20 crore rupees, it won't happen. I'm just saying that. I mean, hypothetically. Even if it is, if you think that it is going to be a bad norm, keep it aside and try as a CSR initiative. I'm sure it won't happen. We have got the experience. And microfinance, as Saibal very rightly said, the kind of borrowers with whom we work, you know, they are ones who never cheat us. They are the ones who always been with the MFIs and supported the whole program and whole movement. So let's do this and show that we are doing something for the social cause of this country. Thank you so much. Let's all join for a lunch. Thank you. Thank you. Photograph any? Can everyone comes forward? We can stand here and
now the camera, you need to help us how to.
Please join for the lunch. Please join for the lunch.